Hello, this is RJ City, and I am ethically opposed to any more wrestling podcasts. I don't know why you guys are talking about wrestling. It is a niche product. It is a very small industry. Yet, at this point, there's more wrestling podcasts than there are wrestlers. There is something wrong with society as a whole, but as you get smaller and smaller into wrestling, and then the wrestling podcast sphere, it gets even worse. And one such example, if I may turn on the microscope and look at the drudgery that happens to be True Heel Heat. SP3, Sid, this is your fault.
Upbeat person, you're watching True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for our AEW Full Gear 2025 preview. Breaking down this Saturday show tomorrow night, Newark, New Jersey, the second to last pay-per-view for All Elite Wrestling of 2025, and it will be a big one. Full Gear, one of their landmark shows, and we're here to break it all down with you. And to do all of that, I am joined by my two esteemed colleagues here. First up, we got the MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. And of course, he is a fan of All Elite Wrestling. He is Jay News. How are you feeling?
Doing all right, brother. Doing all right. The week done ran up on me. It's Friday. Feels like a Wednesday. And I don't know where I'm at right now. So it's what
you don't, and you don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, it's another day above ground, so it's a positive one. So there it is.
Absolutely. Best way to think about it. And of course, it's a pay-per-view preview, so we had to bring back everyone's favorite. It's been weeks since we've seen her. It's been like a month. She's had a month off from YouTube, so she's here to grace us with her presence. You know her from Fightful Overbooked and our pay-per-view previews for pretty much all the pay-per-views of 2025. It is the one and only Maggie. How are you doing?
Hi, sweetie. Like I mentioned before we started the show, this feels really weird because I haven't been on screen talking about wrestling in a month. For obvious reasons, Rob and I are taking a break for, mental health. And it's really weird because, I haven't stopped watching wrestling. I've watched everything and I've taken all my notes and everything, just like I always do. But it feels like I have no idea what happened because I haven't talked about it. And it's, you know, I don't even know, like, I don't even know the card. I mean, I know the card, but like, what the fuck? So it's like really, it's really weird. But like, it's an AEW pay-per-view. I was really bummed out that we didn't get to, do the Saturday Night Main Event, uh, preview that we were scheduled to do, but life happened. But it's an AEW pay-per-view, and I'll tell you what. So I know how this goes, and I have a pill that I need to drink in exactly 2 hours, and I have it here with me because I know that we're still going to be running in 2 hours. So like that's.
I think we've been good on time the last couple of previews, but you didn't give us a time limit for this one, so
I don't have a time limit this time, so we can fuck around and find out. So
fuck around and find out. Yes, BRB. There you go. He's gonna BRB. He's gonna fuck around and find out off screen.
Come on, I haven't even started yet, JPEG.
We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on the video. That helps out the YouTube algorithm. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You can also sound off in the comments section if you're watching us on demand. And if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you. Hear your thoughts on this Saturday show, your predictions on Full Gear, and how excited you are for this Saturday show. We want to hear from all of you. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here. You want to show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel and our AEW pay-per-view previews. You could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to contributors that you see on screen with us here. And we always appreciate the support. We got Soupy in the chat joining us, coming over from the coexisting verse over here in the True Hill Heat. He says, hello.
Bryn's here also. So
there you go. Yes, we got Bryn as well here saying happy Friday, friends. Good to see you, Bryn, in the chat. We also got Sports in Things who says sup THH fam. We got Hassan in the chat who's been very excited. Hassan's been trying to make us do this preview for Full Gear last week. He thought it was going down last. He was in our comment section being like, "Oh, the Full Gear preview is this week." I was like, "Sir, it's not this weekend,
sir." Calm down.
You're giving me extra work here. I know you're excited. We got I think this is Mahidra who says I hope Hangman wins. We also got Sojo's in the chat with us saying sup everyone. We got Bryn letting us know that 2 hours is conservative for Maggie and SP3. I think it's conservative and very fair.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna say that. So let's. I finally found my limit. Okay, so I'm not gonna say that. I feel like everyone knows what I was about to say. So anyway,
there you go.
Continue.
We got Dustin in the chat. Good to see you. He says, hello, my peoples. Excited for the show. Got my ticket and ready to go. Dustin, you're one of the OGs in the chat. Come say hi to me. I'll be at the show as well.
Congratulations. Yeah, I know. Like I watched the Dynamite post show with you and Alex. I know that you're going. I'm so excited. Guys, go say hi to SP3. Please shower before that. SP3 smells great. Please. Yes, SP3 smells great. Like when I hugged him, I was like, "You smell so great. This is so nice." Because
I take showers. Showers. My missus doesn't let me leave the house without taking a shower.
This was important to me because the night before I was attending my first ever Rev Pro show. Oh my God, soap is not expensive, guys.
Dude, I can't tell you one of the most disgusting moments that I've had going to a wrestling event in recent memory was going to the Rev Pro show at York Hall. And I was on the line, and I don't know if you've been to one of the shows at York Hall specifically, but when you go to York Hall, there's a long line that you have to stand outside of. So I was on this long line. It's the summer. It's hot. So, you know, not everybody's going to be smelling the great. But, you know, I didn't know that I was going to see the lengths that people take to not smell horrible at a wrestling event. Whereas, you know, me personally, I just like to take showers daily, and I like to put on deodorant at home and then put on my clothes. This individual who was in front of me decided to pull out a deodorant stick, roll it onto his armpits, and then threw it out of his hand because he couldn't go in to the event with the deodorant stick. Apparently, I don't know.
What? Okay, I have many questions.
He just threw his, like, because there's like a bench right outside of your call. So if you have something on you that you want to just throw out, disregard, you usually put it on that bench. So that bench is usually filled with like water bottles most of the time. Water bottles is like the most common thing seen. I have never seen someone use a deodorant stick and then just throw it onto the bench.
What did I just walk into?
We were talking about how people smell at wrestling events since I'm going to Full Gear, and I was just describing one of my more revealing and just being like, "Oh, this is what wrestling fans do." Moments that I had going to a wrestling event.
It's because I'm a bartender and I work at a rock bar, and I was like, "Please, guys, don't let us be stupid stereotypes. Well, metalheads don't take showers because, you know, they look dirty," and that's not true. But I'll tell you what definitely did not help our case. Last Saturday we had a huge concert. We call it a Seattle Night tribute show. A lot of musicians just perform grunge songs from huge Seattle bands. It's one of our biggest concerts every year. There were 250 people in my bar, which is a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, but, you know, it's not a big bar. And the bar started smelling like garlic.
That sounds disturbing.
Because I had the best intentions in staying, because one of the vocalists is my favorite Bulgarian voice ever, and I had the good intentions of saying, I'm like, fucking bye. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to gourmand perfumes, and I have a problem. Okay, my collection is growing bigger, and I'm a poor person. It shouldn't be growing bigger. Okay, it shouldn't be. But this psychological problem, I need help. But it's like because I have a really sensitive nose, and there's a huge difference if someone is if it's a hot day, and of course you're going to sweat, and there's a huge difference between you being sweaty from today and you being sweaty because you haven't showered in 3 days. Also, wash your fucking clothes. Don't wear clothes that you wore before. That's not. Come on, guys. She's trying
to give you tips on how to take showers.
Live
daily.
your life.
And if you don't take showers daily, how to hide it better.
Yes, or don't go out. Don't put people through that, because if you want to do because we've all been there, if just stay home. You don't need to, but when you're outside, you're doing stuff to people's noses. Just don't.
This is
common courtesy.
Assault. It's called assault.
It is assault. It is. Just don't do that. Anyway, wrestling, right?
I always can count on Maggie to start us off the right way. But yes, guys, he started off in the live chat, and of course, send those super chat donations if you want to show your support in the best way possible. Helps out the channel, helps the channel grow, and helps us out so much, and we always appreciate that. We got Good Doer in the chat who says, "Hey guys and lady, excited about Full Gear. Feels like this is the end of year pay-per-view, and World's End should start something new with the C2." That's interesting to put it. I mean, it does with like all these feuds that basically really just continued on from Wrestle Dream and are seemingly, hopefully, going to be culminated at this show, I can see why you think it feels like a end of year pay-per-view.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because like World's End hasn't sunk in for me like as a pay-per-view because like I don't know, the first edition of World's End was meh for me.
It's objectively one of the worst AEW pay-per-views of all time, along with All Out 2020.
Yeah, I mean, it's they have set a high bar when it comes to pay-per-views. I know that, and saying that this is your worst pay-per-view ever, it's saying a lot, but it's not really. But like everyone knows how excited I get for AEW pay-per-views, especially the ones that are part of the Big Four. So I'm sure that you're about to ask, the question, how excited we are and everything. So might as well just say it. I'm incredibly excited for this show. And the reason is I have Sunday off. And I'm always excited about watching.
He's like, I get to watch it.
I get to watch it in peace with my tea without rushing or watching something on 2x speed just because I have to go to work. No, I get to enjoy it and I get to go to the mall afterwards. Hopefully not to get more perfumes. Just go. Yeah.
It's probably to get more perfumes.
It's so or shirts. Let's say shirts because that's a good thing. Yeah. But from the scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna say 8.5, close to a 9.
Okay.
But
I like that.
I'm pissed off about a lot of things, but I'm really excited about other things. How are you guys feeling?
I am. So if I had to give my scale, how excited, how hyped I am for Full Gear, I'm my expectations and my hopes are kind of tempered because I haven't really enjoyed the build too much because I feel like they were more distracted with Blood and Guts, and then I hated the follow-up for both the men's and women's Blood and Guts on this week's Dynamite / Collision. Why is Jon Moxley wrestling on the week after he tapped out in men's Blood and Blood? But that's besides the point. We'll get into that. But yeah, I would say it's tempered, so I would say a 7. A 7 because I know that AEW pay-per-views are going to be great, and I'm going to be there live, and I haven't been to a pay-per-view live since I think All In last year, so it's going to be nice to kind of be there live, experience an AEW.
Didn't go to Forbidden Door
person this year.
Oh no,
I didn't. I was back here by then.
Yeah, you were back.
So this will be my first one this year, so I'm excited for that. So I'll say like a 7, but the build up, I think if the build up was better, I'd be closer to where Maggie was at. I'd be like 8.5, 9. J News, what about you?
So it's an AEW pay-per-view, as you guys said. The AEW pay-per-views usually, they do the damn thing. The build to the show, I'm opposite of you. I'm not saying that it was great or fantastic or anything like that, but I've been okay with it. I haven't seen necessarily anything wrong. In AEW's world, people don't necessarily ever take the day off after bloody massacre type matches. It's just not their style. Everyone's hardcore. I know you're right. It is stupid. But in AEW's world that they live in, everyone's hardcore and everyone gets up the next day to go to work.
It defeats the purpose.
I know
that defeats the purpose, and I refuse to accept that is a thing. When
I get it.
You gave us a tag team matchup on Dynamite that didn't need to happen. Claudio and Moxley versus Orange Cassidy and Kyle. I would much rather have heard from Jon Moxley after he lost Blood and Guts for the Death Riders than see him wrestle. That was so stupid. That was one of the that really irritated me on Wednesday.
I hear you. I get that. But I mean, after the match that he had with Darby last pay-per-view, he came back on freaking Dynamite. So did Darby. Ain't nobody out here, licking wounds and shit. This is
Mina.
AEW does stuff.
Mina, tell me why Mina wasn't, selling anything.
She didn't sell the benefit. No.
Yeah, commentary needed to remind me that she was a part of Blood and Guts, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's happening?
Tell me why Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley needs to be a no-holds-barred matchup when we already have a no DQ matchup on the card. We already have a steel cage matchup on the card. Tell me why Hangman and Samoa Joe's best segment together was the promo exchange they did before Wrestle Dream, yet we went a whole 5 weeks heading into this pay-per-view, and they didn't do a promo exchange.
None.
Yeah,
They
but
just
the promo exchange.
All the hopes that we had for Joe and Hangman, they just completely were just like, nah, we're not interested. It's been lackluster. It's a lackluster build. That's why everybody just wanted to be done after tomorrow.
I feel like the whole Joe and Hangman Page thing, the storytelling elements of it all, to your point, right? There have been some lackluster spots in it, but they've done their due diligence with the whole matches with Hobbs and Shibata, and then Joe on commentary and Hanger on commentary, and post-match mic grabs and things of that nature. So they haven't been necessarily missing the storytelling and promo spots of it. The face-to-face stuff, sure, to your point. But AEW
they did zero heat angles for Samoa Joe, one of the more effective heels in the business. They just decided to do no heat angles after he turned heel at Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, this is true.
I feel like the entire feud of Hangman and Samoa Joe is just existing in its own space because they're waiting for something else for Hangman, which we're about to talk later on in the show. I feel like it's obviously, glaringly obvious that that's what the case is. And I don't think it's fair for Samoa Joe because he's so my favorite. But they could have done better with this. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Maggie, but I saw this comment by Dustin who said the build for this show was far less exciting than Wrestle Dream. And I was critical of the Wrestle Dream build, but at least Darby and Jon Moxley had a great build to that matchup. There's no matches on this card that you could say that you could honestly, objectively say had a great build.
Great, no. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, things have been fine. They haven't been necessarily great to like fantastic and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's like you're saying, bro. Like they've gone back to the well with a couple of matches, right? Especially now they've got three matches on this card in which we've already seen prior matches either on Dynamite and or previous pay-per-views, right? Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. We've seen Mox and O'Reilly, which I think has been great. But they're running this. They've been running this. They're running this back now as a match on the pay-per-view as well. I'm forgetting, and then obviously the third match between Kris Statlander and Mercedes Moné. They're running that into it as well. So
I think you're thinking too hard, J News. There's literally only 3 matches on the card that we have not seen in the past 3 months.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Of course, you had the statistics. Of course, you did.
I'm just saying, like,
never tell me the odds.
I'm rarely critical of AEW because for the most part I understand who they are. Like
you're also paid off by them, okay?
Yeah, of course. They took me off the ban list. They let me go to Full Gear, so I got to be a chill. But I'm really critical of them because I kind of understand what they are. They lean towards the wrestling. Sometimes we'll take laxes on like storytelling and stuff, but like it just felt like Blood and Guts did not have that much of a build, and then it was a great show. And then I expected them to follow up that great show with at least some proper follow-up for Blood and Guts to set up Full Gear, and I didn't get that the way that I wanted. I got some good wrestling on Wednesday, but the booking just was lacking, and it didn't create excitement for the show, which on paper is a really good card. It's going to have nothing but good to great matches, but the AEW has been lacking, especially since All In. They've been lacking the ability to get you excited for a pay-per-view card because you know they're going to deliver, but they need to also get you excited for it, and they haven't done it since All In.
They need to get you excited in order to buy the pay-per-view, to purchase it. Of course, it's going to be an awesome pay-per-view, but like, here's the reason why you should spend $50 on it. So,
Yep. And Suki makes a good point here. She is like, also, I think, and Jimmy said this yesterday on AE Ramble. He was like, blood and guts being before this show did hurt the build. It did. It just did.
It did.
It did.
It
It definitely
absolutely
did. We can now go like 8 days later and be like, great show, hurt the build to the pay-per-view though.
Also, blood and guts hurt everything about the women's tag team tournament, but like that tournament was. We'll talk about that later. So.
Oh, you expect a rant, Maggie.
Yeah.
Expect a rant
Yeah.
of the fact that we're getting this matchup on this show.
This is what we trained for.
Not 2 matches. Oh, it's too much to give us the 2 matches that we're actually supposed to get. Oh, too much. All right, let's get into the card. Tailgate Brawl, which will take place on TNT at 7 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow from Newark, New Jersey. Probably might have one of the best matches on the entire show. And this is 2 pay-per-views in a row that I'm saying that, because I said that about the FTR and Jet Speed matchup at Wrestle Dream, and that was one of the best matches on that show. And this has the potential to be that, as well as it will be El Sky Team. Máscara Dorada teaming up with Mystico and Neon. They will defend the CMLL World Trios Championships against the Don Callis families, the AEW Unified Champion Kazuchika Okada, Hechicero, and the Alpha, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Konosuke Takeshita. So this one was set up from Okada defeating Máscara Dorada on the Collision portion of the 3-hour special on Wednesday. Due to that win in a double Jeopardy matchup, it allowed the Don Callis family to get an opportunity at the CMLL World Trios Championships, owned by Dorada, Mystico, and Neon. These are some of the best wrestlers in the world. You got Mystico, who's the top draw in Mexico. You got Takeshita, who's the champion of New Japan. Okada just sold out the Tokyo Dome nearly with Tanahashi. This has a lot of potential to be great. Maggie, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win tomorrow?
I feel like because of the story, I feel like Hechicero will be the one taking the pin because Takeshita and Okada cannot possibly get on the same page. I don't see them holding the CMLL Trios Championships. I don't see that happening. This has to be, I
think the Don Callis family, the only unit that I think they would never lose in a trios matchup, if it was Kyle Fletcher in the place of Hechicero. Then I'd be like, they're definitely winning. There's nobody on this team that can lose. But Hechicero is literally here to lose to his friends from CMLL. I think that El Sky's team is going to win. I think that Máscara Dorada, I think, is going to probably have the best performance in this matchup, because I've heard a lot of like polarizing opinion about his matchup with Okada. I enjoyed it. I know Jimmy said he didn't like it. I enjoyed it because I thought they recovered from the early botches, but it definitely was a disappointment in comparison to what people were expecting from that matchup.
Oh, it wasn't a disappointment. I mean, it's Dorada and Okada. Like, the expectations are way high. And of course, like, a few botches, yeah, sure, that's gonna bum you out, but like, it wasn't bad or awful. I mean, like you said, they did recover, but it was a pretty decent match. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend that the botches didn't take me out. Yeah, but like, it's wrestling. It's not ballet. It's
you understand. J News, what about you? Who do you think wins, El Sky team or the Don Callis family?
For those of you who don't know, this is Hechicero's 3rd attempt at trying to win the CMLL Trios Championships since 2022. And he won the first time, and then he lost it. I think him and his team won the belts. Then they dropped the belts because one of the members got injured. He then tried again a year later. They lost that match, and now he's back. Here it's 2025, and he's got 2 of the best with him, and he's bound to take the pin. That, my friends, is wrestling iron 101 at the end of the day. And Sky Team is a hell of a team to watch via trios action. SP3, I'm going to put you on notice. Keep your eyes on Neon. brother.
Oh, I know. I have a CMLL subscription. I watch. Neon is awesome. That triple jump, the double jump moonsault. That's the spot that I always look forward to. Anytime he gets rushed up the ramp, I know what's coming.
That dude is insane, man. He reminds me of Laredo Kid's early years, and yeah, Laredo Kid's a fragment of what he used to be nowadays, but it is what it is. But yeah, it should be an exciting match. I think don't take me to the bank on this, but it seems like this might be the match that they'll do this 2 times in a row. They'll end the brawl, the tailgate brawl with it, and then they'll go into it. It'll start the pay-per-view and whatnot. One of those fire opens or whatever as they want to call them and shit like that. So I feel like they might do that with this match because it's considered the main event of the tailgate brawl or whatever. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This seems like the type of match they would do the same thing they did with FTR and Jet Speed. I don't know if it's wise to do it back-to-back pay-per-views, but I mean you're setting it as a precedent, I guess.
Yeah. So I think that'll happen with this, but I also agree that Sky Team retains their trios championships here. We'll see more of the storyline continue to build between Takeshita and Okada, depending as to whenever AEW wants to put that on pay-per-view. Because I feel like they're not going to do that for World's End either. So
it's either World's End in the Continental Classic or next year at Revolution. That's when they're doing.
Probably.
I think it's probably wise to do Revolution because another element of this story is Wrestle Kingdom with Okada stealing the main event from Takeshita, and that just adds to the whole story between them before they eventually clash against each other.
It absolutely adds to.
No, I was gonna say, or they can have Okada lose in the Continental Classic in the semifinals. We all think it's gonna be Okada winning to go to the finals and face Takeshita. Takeshita wins. Okada loses in the semifinals, and then Takeshita wins the tournament without beating Okada, and he wins the unified title. That's
pretty. Yeah,
I like that.
That's sneaky. Also, I do see it stretching out until Revolution because come on, guys. Revolution has been AEW's best pay-per-view of the year every year, without question. Revolution is a standard for me right now. Of course, I'll always be biased towards the first ever Revolution. It had 2 of the best matches ever. Bucks versus Hangman and Kenny, and Pac versus Orange County. Jesus, that's
California.
Yeah. So it's Revolution. It's supposed to be the best ever. So they're probably stretching out.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind it because this is honestly the best story that AEW has, and I think that's another reason why I haven't liked the build to Full Gear because I haven't got much of that because Takeshi's in Japan. So that's probably another reason. So I will admit where my bias is at. A match that we don't need to talk too much about on the Tailgate Brawl. Eddie Kingston and Hook have issued another open challenge on the Tailgate Brawl. That will be answered by the same team that answered it last time, the Horsemen. I mean, they didn't answer it at Wrestle Dream. They faced the Frat House, but they have faced the Horsemen before on Collision, but they're facing them again. Eddie and Hook wins. This Eddie Kingston return booking has been awful. Oh my God. I understand if Eddie's like, I want to be eased back in. I want to work off the ring rust. There are other ways to do it instead of just defining him as someone that's a pre-show wrestler. Eddie Kingston deserves better.
Yeah, his booking since his return, no, it hasn't existed. Yeah. Justice for the Workhorsemen, by the way. JD Drake, incredibly underrated.
So can someone clear something up for me? Because I thought I saw this at the beginning of the week with Anthony Henry. I thought Anthony Henry was injured again.
No.
He's fine?
He's fine. Yeah,
okay.
He's recently wrestled, yeah.
All right, fair enough. But as Maggie said, JD Drake ain't he great at the end of the day? One of the most underrated talents in AEW that there is. First time I probably saw him wrestle was on Evolve a couple years ago, and he was great then, and he's bigger now, and he's still moving like a freaking jackalope. That dude's crazy. But yeah, I agree. Eddie's booking has not been great. You know what? I'm gonna get heat for this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. This is the way I feel. Eddie Kingston babysitting Hook is not a good idea.
No, it's not. It's not at all. No one wants to see Eddie Kingston as a babysitter.
That's nope. It's not cool, man. It takes so
not
much
great.
You know, I think there are certain AEW talents who need a lot more reps and exposure to different types of wrestling styles and things of that nature on the roster currently, which we might get into during the rest of this and other AEW news that's come about in the last 48 to 72 hours. But yeah, man, I'm not liking this. Eddie should be being used in another light. I feel like if you have to run back Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher for a fifth time, and you have Eddie Kingston sitting right there, I consider that a problem. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And it seemed like we're going in a right direction by having Eddie and Hook side with Hangman against the Ops, but we're right back to this at the pay-per-view.
Nope.
200,000, and obviously we're all going for Eddie and Hook if you weren't aware.
Oh yeah.
$200,000 tag team 4-way tailgate brawl. It's gonna be not the acclaimed, the unacclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson, and the artist formerly known as the Learning Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keefe. Winner gets $200,000. That's the build. It was just announced. Bang Bang Gang and Big Bill and Brian Keefe have been feuding on Collision, but as you know, feuding on Collision is a very kind of relative term. It just means they've wrestled a few times and been in backstage segments together. That's pretty much how it is to strictly, primarily, exclusively feud on Collision. You're just wrestling and in a few backstage segments. Just like the story of the Unacclaimed, which has objectively been one of the worst of AEW this year. The Bang Bang Gang wins.
Yeah, they haven't done much. It's been super inconsistent with what they've done between Brian Keefe, Big Bill, and the dudes from the Bang Bang Gang. I thought they would have done something unique, at least with the history that Juice has with Big Bill at the end of the day. But they didn't do anything with that, which was surprising. Also, I want to point out for folks who haven't noticed or folks who have noticed, Juice Robinson is back to being rock hard. The serious aspect of his character is gone because it just wasn't going over at the end of the day. When he first came back,
it did bit like the reason I made that look is because it was like a cup of coffee. It was here and then it was gone. He realized it took him like a couple of weeks to realize nobody likes this. Nobody's into this. You need to be rock hard.
So you know, he's rock hard again and stuff like that. And the unacclaimed stuff, like, yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. Like at points it was like, okay, I see what they're trying to do, but then they've been dragging it, and they had Billy Gunn, and then it was Jerry Lynn, and it's like, who else is gonna get involved in this thing? You know, the Outrunners have been doing their usual shtick. Now they have the addition of Dalton Castle, which I think has been hilarious over on ROH and stuff like that. But for all intents and purposes, I'm with SP3. The Bang Bang Gang wins. They get to put their money into some 401k and Roth IRAs and things of that nature. Hopefully, they're
$200,000.
You know, hopefully their money builds on escrow and they can have some retirement funds going forward from there. That's what it's about.
Maggie, who you got?
Thank you. First of all, fuck the Acclaimed. No, fuck the Outrunners. And my pick here, I always need to say this because people love the Outrunners and they need to know that they're wrong. So, like, for me, because I have been keeping an eye on this, God knows why, during Collision, the whole unacclaimed thing. The logical thing here is for them to win this match, take the money, and then someone pursue them to come back as a team, but they don't play off of one another really well. So I'm going to pick the unacclaimed because I really, really hate the Outrunners. I really want the Bang Bang Gang to win because I kind of miss the Bang Bang Gang a lot. And instead of going with my heart here, I'm gonna go with my brain, which has always worked out, right? But like the logical thing, collision wise, is for the unacclaimed to win for whatever reason.
I just don't like the story because it feels like
no one likes the story, sweetie.
We repeat the same chapter over and over and over again. We get it. They don't want to team with one another. This is like the one of the worst meta storylines that I've seen in modern wrestling, where they're doing a meta commentary of telling Max Caster and Anthony Bowens that nobody likes y'all unless y'all are together, which is really the company telling them that, and then we're supposed to be entertained by it.
It's incredibly meta. Incredibly meta.
You can tell you can tell that the Bucks had everything to do with this storyline because of how meta it is. Because of how meta it is, you can tell the Bucks had everything to do with the storyline. That's guaranteed.
I haven't thought about this, but now that you bring it up, like
absolutely, yeah, man.
You have a point. I'll be surprised if they don't have anything to do with it because who? That's not TK.
Yeah, true. So we do have one match on this pre-show that actually has a build to it. I wouldn't say the quality of it, but it has a build. Boom and Doom versus RPG Vice. Boom and Doom consisting of Big Boom AJ teaming up with his former arch nemesis, the Doom, QT Marshall. Last year at Full Gear in Newark, New Jersey, Big Boom AJ made his AEW in-ring debut against QT Marshall, picking up the win there. These two men feuded with one another for months heading into that matchup, with Big Boom AJ picking up the victory. But in the past few months, it's been RPG Vice and the Don Callis family that have been picking on Big Boom AJ. Yet RPG Vice jumping Big Boom AJ right in front of his son, Big Justice, at a bar at one of the last pay-per-views. They have faced them on the pre-show at Allin, Texas earlier this year, and you also had Trent, who pushed down Big Justice back at that pay-per-view. Now it seems that Big Boom AJ is looking for revenge against the Don Callis family and has aligned with his former enemy to do so. Of course, Boom and Doom is going to get the win. So what's your prediction, Maggie?
When did this happen? Where was I?
I literally am just letting y'all know the build to the matchup. That was the build to the match. It's been being built every week on Ring of Honor. I'm one of the 5 people that watch Ring of Honor, and I've been watching every week. They've been doing QTV. They've been doing QTV with Harley Cameron, and they've been covering all what's going on with Big Boom AJ and Don Callis family, with QT Marshall slowly but surely siding with Big Boom AJ before they officially joined each other after Big Boom AJ made the save for QT.
Oh, okay. So the match, I don't care. Move on. I don't give a fuck.
So you let me clarify just to tell me you don't give a fuck. Jay knows.
Listen, it's been a month, okay? Give me.
Who you got, J News?
Yeah, man. I found it rather interesting and random. I think about last month when the Ring of Honor YouTube channel posted a video of QTV. I didn't even know that that was still a thing.
Right.
And when the video started, it was Aaron Solo sitting next to Harley Cameron. The TV was there, and then they panned to QT Marshall, and I'm like, this is still a thing? I can't believe this right
They
now.
literally brought it back for this rivalry, so they could do the rivalry on ROH TV because they remembered how much AEW fans hated QTV, so they just kept it on Ring of Honor.
And the main reason why AEW fans hated QTV is because they had Hobbs in that shit, and nobody wanted Hobbs as a part of that goddamn stable. Oh my god. Anyways, Harley Cameron is great in everything. By the way, she's fantastic. It's hard. You know what? Everyone deserves to have a job. Everyone deserves to be able to pay their bills. I'm not going to say anything negative about Aaron Solo. Just not. So at this point, I'm just going to say I'm going to go with Boom and Doom here. I've never been a big fan of QT Marshall ever. At the end of the day, he had a spectacular match with Paul Walter Hauser. I'm sure we'll see Paul Walter
over delivered big time.
So I'm sure we'll see Paul Walter Hauser down the road on AEW or ROH TV again. So yeah, there's that. So Boom and Doom for the win and all that jazz.
Sounds so stupid, man.
I do like the fact that most of these pre-show matches are kind of skip or food piss break, because then I could get all my food. I could be prepared for the main card. I could just do all of that while all these matches are going on. Even though that Eddie Kingston and Hook match is probably going to be like 2 seconds, so I won't have that much time. But let's get into finally the main card: AEW National Championship Casino Gauntlet. Because we needed another belt. AEW National Champion will be crowned in the Casino Gauntlet matchup, making its return to AEW for the first time since All in Texas. A couple of participants that have been announced for the matchup include Speedball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, Ricochet, and the number 1 entrant and number 2 entrant from the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Tony Khan introduced a new title with the national championship a couple of weeks back, saying that it will be a casino gauntlet to determine who will be the first ever champion. When asked about what's the philosophy behind so many titles for AEW and ROH, Tony Khan says that they have expanded their TV hours on TV, so he just thinks that he needed to introduce another title, even though they still have the same amount of hours on TV that they did in January that they do now. But he needed another title, and he said that was the reason why he needs more titles on AEW and ROH. I have to commend him with his level of BSery to answer a question and say, oh, it's because of we're having more hours of TV, more content, so we need more champ. You literally have 5 to 6 hours of TV a week with maybe a 5-hour pay-per-view. That's 11 hours. You have 12 titles. Anyway, Maggie, what do you think about the Casino Gauntlet? Who do you think wins and becomes the first ever national champion?
Listen, I do agree with you. It's really annoying about the title belts. But like, that's asking me, hey Maggie, why did you buy yet another perfume? And I mean, it's the same, okay? And I'm like,
and then you go like, my neck expanded, so I need more perfumes for the expansion of my neck.
Yeah, so like not the neck, because I have allergy when it comes to perfumes, and because my skin is so sensitive to everything, so it's on my clothes. It's really irritating, and I hate that, because as a perfume fan, it's really stupid that I have that I have this, because it's so not fair. But like, I can go on and on about how, well, I have more clothes now than I did at the beginning of the year. So this means that, I, 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 I do feel like it's the same thing because the moment he said, we're introducing a brand new title belt, and I'm like, fuck. And I was like, can we just stop? Because it's not like, if you had two separate rosters, like said Raw and SmackDown roster, which isn't a thing anymore, if you think about it, but they still have, different sets of titles and everything. And they barely book that. Don't get me started on that. But like, we were like, oh, yay, we get women's tag team championships. So like, that's so good. And they're like, not so fast. We get another men's title also. So don't celebrate too fast. I understand how irritating this is, but I'm gonna let it play out and see how disappointed I am in in the upcoming months, because I know that I'm gonna be. Who I picked for the winner?
I've been going with the strategy of get mad in the moment, so then when you're proven right, you could just be like, you see why I was mad?
Yeah. And if you're wrong, and we never are, and if we're wrong, we go, I'm happy now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you appeased me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So who I pick as a winner? I pick MJF.
Do you think MJF's gonna come back and win a different title?
Yeah. And then cost Briscoe for the Mark Briscoe against Kyle Fletcher.
What about the AEW World Championship he has a contract for?
He does. He can go for that and probably unify those so that this title can go away.
You just want MJF to win it so you can unify it with another title.
Yeah, that is the thing. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I feel like MJF can come back here, and this match has to be before the Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher match. I'll be absolutely okay if this opens up the card. By the way, the main card, because it's a really nice match to open up the show. Because listen, I haven't given this match thought because we only know some of the contestants. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how Lashley and Shelton Benjamin start off the match. I will never say no to more Shelton Benjamin on my screen. Bobby Lashley is absolutely wonderful, but I'm so biased when it comes to Shelton Benjamin. I just give me more of Shelton Benjamin wrestling. And this has a fun aspect to it, him wrestling his tag team partner. But I do, because it's the whole thing that we didn't get this disclosure between MJF and the Hurt Business. We still have that, stewing. So yeah, that's mainly why I pick MJF. Come back, wins the title, and then that's
I don't think I'm going out on a limb, but I hate to tell you, Maggie, I just think they dropped that storyline. They dropped it. They're not gonna.
Oh yeah,
I don't think that MJF. They're gonna follow up on MJF in the.
Oh no. I'm not saying that they will, but this will be a nice cap to it. Just screw you guys. I'm winning the championship, and that is it. That is it. Because I feel like, mainly, I thought that this was a wonderful opportunity to put a title on Ricochet, because goddamn it, the man needs it.
I think that's my prediction. Ricochet's winning, because it literally they've given it away to me too many times. Who's the only person in this matchup that's had a storyline about finally winning a championship in AEW? It's Ricochet.
It's Ricochet.
Who got squashed on Wednesday as a basically a booking angle to basically take us off the scent that he is winning on Saturday? Ricochet. Who's the only person in this matchup that you could realistically see defending the national championship for the first time on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view in a few weeks? It's Ricochet. Ricochet's winning.
Yeah, I do. This is like this was my initial thought that Ricochet is winning because, God damn it, I hope so. Because if it's not MJF, please put it on Ricochet because it's about damn time. He's put in the work in AEW. He's been so good for AEW. Ever since that toilet paper incident, he's been killing it. He's been, running storylines with it. It's that good. So if it's not MJF, and which is probably not going to be MJF because it's kind of doesn't actually make sense, but it makes sense to me. Okay, so it's
So I want to ask you one more time if it makes sense. If MJF wins, he's going to defend the title at a Ring of Honor show. MJF wrestling on a Ring of Honor show. Does that make sense?
He can do it sarcastically. I have faith in MJF.
He's going to sarcastically wrestle at Ring of Honor. I honestly, I'm here for it. I honestly want to see this now. You actually convinced me. The fact that I could see MJF wrestle on a Ring of Honor show, I actually am with your booking, your prediction.
If this doesn't make people watch Ring of Honor, then what will? Come on.
This is his last-ditch effort to get Ring of Honor a TV deal. MJF wins the national title, and he's going to defend it weekly.
Okay, if they want to get a TV deal, they're going to make Jericho come back here and win the yeah, that's...
Jericho wins the Casino Gauntlet. Shane News, who you got in the Casino Gauntlet?
So I have the same question that Soupy has. Does anyone expect any returns during this gauntlet?
Obviously, I do.
Just because Maggie brought up MJF. What about you, SP3? Do you expect any returns in this gauntlet match at all?
Who's supposed to return?
I don't know. I'm just asking you. I'm asking if you feel like there's going to be any returns.
The people that I am excited to see return are Swerve, MJF, and Jay White, and I would be so sad if any of them were in this matchup. So I think that we'll get some. Maybe we'll get a debut. I think that we can get a debut in here. Maybe we get Cedric Alexander finally making his debut. Maybe we get if you're getting a return, maybe someone like a Buddy Matthews returns to AEW. That one would make sense. That's a return that would make sense.
Let me pour some cold water on the Buddy Matthews one. Sorry, guys. He did post on his Instagram account that he still lacks mobility in his ankle post surgery. So Buddy's not coming back.
I'm supposed to believe that.
I believe it because he wants to work at the end of the day.
I'm looking forward. I am looking forward to Will Ospreay returning, Corey, but it's already been told. Tony Khan said he won't be back until early 2026.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, at this point, I'm always going to hold out hope for Keith Lee, but at the end of the day, I just don't know. So, there's that. But I think Ace Austin gets a shot here. He'll be a part of the competitors that are there. He should show out. I feel like they've done him a disservice because that match he had with Kyle on Collision was fantastic, and then he hasn't been seen in the last 2 weeks.
Well, to be fair, it was one episode of Collision he wasn't on. He's a Collision guy. He only missed one episode of Collision.
I guess, but at the end of the day, I feel like build the momentum off the dude at the end. Whatever, it is what it is. There.
Building Collision on Ace Austin is a wonderful idea, by the way, because he ran with the X Division so much. So just make Collision the Ace Austin show, especially for people who have no idea what he's capable of. But I do believe that the majority of the people who watch AEW have watched Impact /TNA, so it's no surprise there.
Yeah, the sickos are the sickos for a reason. It's not just AEW TV. A lot of AEW fans know pro wrestling in general. So I'm with Maggie on that. I would yet again. You mentioned Cedric Alexander, SP3. I'd like to see it. I just don't know if it's going to happen or not. He's not under TNA contract, folks. For those of y'all who don't know, yes, he's been on their TV, but there's no contract there. Much like Desmond Xavier at the same time, he appeared on TNA television, but he doesn't have a TNA contract. So that would be a cool surprise for this gauntlet match if they wanted to do that. But outside of that, for existing AEW talents who haven't been on TV for a while, I don't know if anybody comes back for this gauntlet match, to be quite honest.
A lot of the stars that we would want back, like I said, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, MJF, Jay White, they're all main eventers. Like, they do not need to be in this matchup. If AEW was serious about kind of elevating this title and making it feel important, then yeah, that is a good idea to have a top star win that. But if you're gonna do that, I don't think having someone come back to win it is the thing to do. I think you just put that on Bobby Lashley if you want a top star to hold this national title.
Right. And I think out of the majority of the AEW roster that might be included in this match, Ricochet is the only one who would probably do indies out of everybody involved.
Yeah.
Right. Because I haven't seen Ace do any indie dates since he signed his AEW contract, so I don't know how comfortable he would be doing that or whatever. But yeah, Ricochet for the win, no doubt. Because he's been to New Japan since he signed with AEW. He's done HOG spots since he signed with AEW. So I think he exemplifies what the title's supposed to be about. So he's the perfect candidate for this match win and stuff like that.
Mr. Towns said in the chat that Ace Austin needs to be in this year's Continental Classic. Sweetie, he needs to fucking run the Continental Classic. He needs to be, in my eyes, Ace Austin needs to be the standout in that entire C2 for me. Because show us what the new guy's capable of. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we answered Soupy's question because Jay News didn't want to answer my question of who's going to win the Continental Classic. He stole the shine from Soupy of us highlighting his super chat. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, expect any returns in this gauntlet. We kind of answered that question. If I had to throw out one more, who is somebody? I mean, yeah, I would love to see Keith Lee. I saw some video. I think it was shout outs to Dante DDJ. He did a video recently where he went over Keith Lee in WWE and then his run in AEW, and it was just he's like one of the most biggest missed opportunities in wrestling. He should be one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling today, but injuries and start and stop pushes have kind of like denied him. So I wouldn't mind him coming back, and if he is coming back in the Casino Gauntlet, Keith Lee should win the damn thing. That's how you immediately thrust him back into the spotlight.
Yeah, I agree with that. If I'm giving a shout to anybody random that people might know, he used to be a TNA worker. He isn't contracted with them anymore. He used to be DPW heavyweight champion. Jake something. I like Jake. I'm a fan of Jake. I think that Jake. I think Jake made an appearance on AEW TV before. SP3, I could be wrong.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but he has a bunch of connections to everybody that was in TNA, and most especially Speedball Mike Bailey was his tag team partner.
Absolutely, yes. Every time we talk about Jake something, I adore Jake something. Shout out to our friend Drew Nicholas, who's probably the biggest Jake something fan for obvious reasons. Yeah. Jake something winning and being as a whole a part of this, I will pop immensely for that.
Yeah, he's a beast. That's somebody you could put on TV and he will impress somebody with his strength and his look. But let's talk about one of the grudge matches on this card, as it's going to be Pac of the Death Riders going one-on-one with Darby Allin. Back at AEW All Out, Pac made his return to AEW following an ankle injury and helped Jon Moxley defeat Darby Allin in a coffin match. Pac has been a thorn in Darby Allin's side ever since his return in September, constantly being the person who comes out and attacks Darby during his matches against other members of the Death Riders. Darby's gotten his chance to get a measure of revenge on a few times, like costing Pac his matchup against Orange Cassidy on Dynamite Titles Tuesday. But the Pac would get the ultimate revenge in the blood and guts matchup, as these two men fought to the top of the entrance tunnel during the matchup, with Gabe Kidd just below with 2 tables. He lit the tables on fire so Pac could gorilla press slam Darby through the 2 flaming tables, with Darby suffering second-degree burns. This led to Pac, who was upset after Death Riders losing the men's blood and guts, issuing the challenge to Darby Allin to go one-on-one, but he wants a wrestling matchup. No bells, no whistles, no chairs, no tasers, no fire. He says that Darby Allin is not the type of person that can beat him in an athletic contest. So we will see who the better wrestler is at Full Gear. Maggie, I know you hate Darby Allin, but what have you thought about the interactions between Pac and Darby Allin heading into this show, and who do you think wins? This is kind of looking at the field of the other matches on this card. This is one of the better and more like simple yet effective builds to a matchup on this whole show.
Yes, it has had an effective build. I still don't understand why I'm seeing it, but it's because I have really high expectations when it comes to pay-per-view Pac matches. Because I've been incredibly vocal about Pac having the weirdest run in AEW. Don't get me wrong, better than the shit that they had him do in WWE, but that is a low bar because it was weird and he wasn't there, and then he was cruiserweight champion, and that was great, but like he was also called Neville, which was so weird to begin with. But this is because I know, like, everyone knows my opinion about Darby. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate the wrestler, the guy. I just don't get the gimmick. It's not in my demographic. It's not for me whatsoever. But this match, I do have high expectations for that because their body types are really close to one another. But Pac, I would like to see him manhandle Darby like any other person 2 times bigger than Darby can, because it's Pac. He also came back, started wearing what do you call it, the onesie, like what do you
Singlet.
Oh, it's a onesie. So like, he looks really devastating when he wears that. Also, when he puts the straps down. And the haircut, I'm liking the haircut. People feel weird about him having short hair. I don't understand why. He looks really good. Hopefully Pac wins this and absolutely mops the floor with Darby. I know it's not going to happen because life sucks. And for some reason, Tony Khan has the hugest boner for Darby. He mentioned it on the Errol Hawani.
For good reason.
Yeah, for what?
One of the greatest TV wrestlers of all time.
Shut your mouth, okay?
I'm saying, Maggie, I understand you hate him, but objectively speaking, Darby Allin does not have bad matches on TV.
So
he has only good to great matches. He only has good to great matches.
But Will Ospreay has awesome matches on television too.
But they pale in comparison to his pay-per-view matches.
They pale in comparison to his face paint or whatever. But like,
what are you talking about? This is just blind hatred.
I know, I just don't get the character. It's not for me. But like,
he's a undead skateboard boy. That's his gimmick.
So I'm not a problematic teenage girl.
Undead. He's a half dead skateboard daredevil.
Okay, I don't
that
care.
would be the character's description of Darby Allin.
Okay, again, I'm not a problematic teenage girl on my first period, so I don't see any appeal in the Darby character whatsoever. It's like I love Pac.
You're not alone in the chat. Dion seems to hate Darby Allin. He says Darby is losing. I'm starting to realize Darby is less Sting and more so just Spike Dudley. This is so disrespectful. Y'all are so disrespectful.
That is a bit disrespectful because like no one Spike Dudley. Okay, let's not go that far.
Yeah.
So.
Like you literally are saying that, and you're making me believe that you have never really watched Spike Dudley. Like Spike Dudley, all he did was sell and get beaten up. At least Darby Allin has developed an offense where he just uses his body as the weapon. Spike didn't even have that. He just had the acid drop. He used to hit one move every fucking matchup. That's what Spike Dudley. He only could hit one move.
And everybody used to pop huge for the acid drop.
Oh, every time. He used to have squash matches against guys 10 times his size because that was the gimmick.
Absolutely.
It was also the Attitude Era.
Yeah, it was also the late 90s. Yeah, totally different.
Yeah, so
I take that as you're going with Pac.
Listen, I know Darby's winning, but I will never say that. Yes, I'm going with Pac.
I actually don't know if Darby's winning. I'm actually going with Pac. I think for how I want everything to play out on this show, Pac needs to win this matchup. I think that Pac is in the best position to lead the Death Riders in a post Jon Moxley era. So I think he needs this win to solidify that he's better than Darby Allin.
I hope so. Part of me wants Gabe Kidd to be the leader of the Death Riders once, but that's
he cannot be the leader of the Death Riders since he's in two different factions. He's in two different factions, and one of the factions is affiliated with a third faction.
Exactly. So I know that that's not happening. So Pac is a really, really wonderful way to go. So yeah, I'm picking Pac, but like all of my senses tell me that Darby's winning. Oh,
there's another matchup on this show where I'm kind of like you, and it's not someone that I hate. That's why I'm wanting them to win. So it's not exactly like you, but I am dreading a result of another matchup that is in line with this storyline. To give y'all a hint of what I'm talking about, I have a lot of apprehension going into that matchup more than this one. I'm fairly confident that the right decision and the decision that will go down tomorrow is Pac beating Darby.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off.
Although Tony Khan loves Darby, he does have him lose all the fucking time.
You know why that is? Do you know why that is?
He sucks.
No, because Darby's a team player. And Darby is
Teflon. Darby is Teflon. He still has over after every loss.
That's what Good Doer said, man. Darby is never hurt by a loss at the end of the day. He's one of those guys who can go his entire AEW career without winning another championship. And Darby Allin's going to be Darby Allin at the end of the day. He's one of the bigger cogs in the wheel. Like SP3 said, he's also one of their best TV wrestlers at the end of the day. But I'm going to choose Pac in this instance. One, because the King of the Bastards needs to cut more promos on TV. That promo he cut on Wednesday.
He does.
Give me more of that. And he's and anyone who's been watching wrestling in the last 20 years knows he's one of the best in the world in the ring.
Yeah.
He can fly better than most. He can ground and pound better than most. And at the end of the day, the new look, I've never had issue with it at the end of the day. I thought that the haircut thing, I said he's in his Julius Caesar era and stuff like that because he's going to be the King of the Bastards. He wins here. I think Pac wins. To SP3's point, if Pac wins, Moxley loses. Because if Moxley loses again, then that means that we have to have the beatdown happen. And someone's got to take over the Death Riders. I initially thought it was going to be Marina Shafir. Pac seems to be the guy that they're hitching their wagon to at the end of the day.
It's kind of unfair that it's not going to be Claudio Castagnoli because
it's never been good on the mic. That's just
I know.
I've been arguing with people this whole week because someone said that Claudio should be the leader and Pac is the mouthpiece. I was like, that only works if the guy the guy who isn't the mouthpiece but is the leader is objectively the best wrestler in the group.
Claudio is not objectively better than Pac. It's just not. He's just not. They're either on the same level or Pac is better than Claudio at this point. Like, Claudio has been defined as a upper mid-card guy. Pac has been an upper mid-card guy for pretty much his entire run of AEW, where him being the leader can make him a fringe main eventer for at least a couple of months. Claudio becoming the leader, I don't think it's going to do anything.
It does, yeah. It doesn't do much for the group at the end of the day, and you know, I think that that Swiss can still just keep on maintaining his role. I think he likes what he's doing at the end of the day, and you know, that'll keep going. But Pac for the win here, so they can continue the disintegration of the Death Rider storyline, or at least kicking Jon Moxley out, should I say? And then you go from there with that, and have him cut more promos. Man, he's one of the better guys on the mic when you give him time. So that's all it is.
Yeah, Soupy with a good point said Pac has already been the leader of the Death Triangle, so it worked. So yeah, that's true too. But I expect this match.
A lot of death. Like,
yeah, that's that's their thing. Triangle death. It's
I forgot all about the Death Triangle, by the way.
Same. Because I see them on Mondays and Fridays now. But let's talk about a match that, unfortunately, for all of you, I have to rant about because it should not be happening on this show. We have a four-way matchup, four-way tag team matchup consisting of the 4 semifinalists in the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. It will be Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir versus the Timeless Love Bombs, Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, versus the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, versus the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. All of these women have qualified and advanced in the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. You had Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron beat Mercedes Moné and Athena in the first round. Sisters of Sin beat Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter in the first round, while Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir and the Timeless Love Bombs advanced in the tournament on this past Wednesday's Dynamite and Collision special. But a lot of us thought that we would at least see the semifinals at this show because of how they have paced this tournament. We said, okay, well, at least see the semifinals. No, they decided to announce a 4-way tag with the winner picking the stipulation for the semifinal matchup. So you are literally doing a 4-way for no reason whatsoever. And the reason is you're going to make one of the semifinals matches feel bigger than the other semifinal matchup. And that semifinal matchup, because it has a stipulation, might feel even bigger than the final matchup. You're having all 4 finalists fight, all 4 semifinalists fight when you could just make the winner, I don't know, the winner of the tournament. You could just do that. Like, it's obvious you don't care. It's obvious you don't care at this point. So you instead of getting the 3 more matches that we were supposed to get, you might as well have just given us a 4-way to determine the winner of the damn tournament, because this seems so egregiously nonsensical to do. Like, the pacing of the tournament was already going to be affected by the fact that they did a women's blood and guts in the middle of doing a women's tag team title tournament. You were already down bad because of that. But then you wasted like 3 to 4 episodes of Collision where you did warm-up matches for fucking people in the tournament when you could have just done the tournament matches. Why did it take a month to do the first round of the fucking tournament, and you did 2 of the first round matches on this Wednesday show? This is Tony Khan literally telling us through the booking or lack thereof of this tournament, he does not give a fuck. He does not give a fuck. The fact that he announced a men's title in the middle of a fucking tournament, that was 1. The fact that this tournament has been so badly paced, that was 2. And then 3 is this matchup being made on the fucking pay-per-view. Oh my God. Tony Khan, I'd rather you have said this in a conference call or a a media scrum instead of booking it in this way that is telling me you don't give a fuck. Maggie? What did you think about this matchup?
Yeah,
And who do you have?
as if I can follow that. So for me, the weirdest thing is not having any any matches on Collision, because that's, if they kept up with the tournament and having matches on Collision, this could have been the final match, and they could have crowned first ever women's tag champions on this card and make it an even bigger thing than it already is as a pay-per-view. They decided not to do that. I legitimately wonder, why on God's earth would you ever want to participate in this match? You have no choice because you're, part of the semi-finalists. But why on earth would you want to win this match? Because you get to win a stipulation. Okay, so you get to pick the stipulation, which means that you get to have a harder match than the other two teams. And you get to go through, we all know it's going to be a hardcore, no disqualification or, shit like that, because it's the women. And women in AEW like to get bloody. I have no problem with that. All of us get bloody once a month. But the thing is that they get to, why on earth would you want to have this way harder match and dumb down your percentage of winning even more, and then even if you win, you get to be beaten up way more than the other team that you're fighting against. It makes no sense in logic-wise world, and it pisses me off a bit because everything that SP3 said is absolutely correct. It's like, oh yay, women's titles. Oh no, wait, there's another title for the men, so don't get too excited. I get it. It's like you get tired of your old toys and you want some new toys. I get that, but like maybe calm down a bit because your old toys are still there. Yeah, he
They're still new. You literally took them out the packaging yesterday. Why are you playing with the new toy?
They're not even being held by anyone yet, and I get it. This could have been a different thing if you made them look a teeny bit different than the other sets of tag team belts, which is still something that bugs me. I need more time. I haven't even seen someone hold the titles, and I still hate them. Whoever wins this match, I feel like, will it be Tony and Mina? I feel like it should be Tony and Mina.
I don't think Tony and Mina are going to win this because I think they're going to win the tournament. So I don't see
Okay, so they're going to win the tournament.
That doesn't matter. Yeah, this matchup doesn't matter, so I don't see them winning it.
Okay, so the Sisters of Sin then.
I can see that. I can see. I mean, the team I'm going with is Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. You should just keep making them look strong until they probably lose by a fluke to the Timeless Love Bombs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Sisters of Sin because I mean, if this tournament was gonna be this long, they should have been way more tag teams in it. It's not like they don't have the women.
You could have done a 16-team tournament. Yeah. And at least we wouldn't have heard all the Ty J fans being so upset this week if you gave them one win in the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was called crazy for saying that there should have been more women in this tournament.
Who said that?
Now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, if we were going to drag this out, might as well, right? Fuck out of here. Look, let me say this. First of all, I agree with SP3. This match is unnecessary. I was talking to a common friend of ours. Shout out to Baby Seth, aka Johnny Boy, yesterday. And I was like, what's the point of this? I have no idea why this match is here at the end of the day. It makes no sense. They're dragging the tournament. The pacing's been awful. Like everybody said. If I'm going by the beats of promos on the shows, I'm going to agree with Maggie that the Sisters of Sin win this match because Tekla said to an extent they're gonna come up with some toxic shit at the end of her last promo. So people should be in store for that. So I feel like the Sisters of Sin win this match. They create whatever stipulation they create for their match, and then they go from there. To comment on something SP3 just spoke about, people being up in arms about Ty J losing their match on Dynamite. Look, guys, I get it. Suppose they're the original women's tag team on the show. People felt like they should have gone longer into the tournament and things of that nature. And there's an attachment to the ladies at the end of the day, right? For all intents and purposes, information has come down within the last 48 hours that Anna Jay's contract is expiring with AEW. I'll state this here. I don't necessarily know what her future holds, to be quite honest. I don't know if she's going to want to continue wrestling. I don't know if AEW is going to want to re-sign her. I just don't know what the deal with Anna Jay is going to be. That being said, I would like it, even though she has improved over the years, there's still more layers of her in-ring wrestling ability, and let alone just character work that need to be peeled back at the end of the day. But she needs to want to put the work in for that, and that's up to her at the end of the day. So I know Ty Mello's very fierce and concentrated on wanting to continue to build on her wrestling legacy, so she's going to stick around, obviously. I just don't know where Anna Jay is going to go, what she's going to do, or what she wants to do at the end of the day. Because ever since she came back from Japan, they've been very inconsistent with her. She's wrestled infrequently. She doesn't do a lot of indie dates, if any. And there's that of it. So for fans who are upset about them losing, I understand it, but logically, it made all the sense in the world, because it just doesn't seem like Anna Jay knows whether she's coming or going at this point. So that's what it seems like, at least. I'm not putting that out there as fact. It's just that's what it looks like from the outside looking in. So
yeah, I mean, I see
there's that about it.
The comment here from Steven saying she'd be a good fit in NXT. Honestly, that's not what she should do. If she decides she wants to leave AEW, she needs to go on the independent scene or go to Japan. That's the best move for her. She needs reps. That's what she needs.
Yeah.
Like, we saw how good she got after getting the reps in the Stardom 5-star Grand Prix. She came back. She was having good matches with Mariah May, but I don't think that she's going to be in line for like a big push going to NXT like Ricky Saints and Blake Monroe or Jade Cargill, Cody Rhodes. Like, these people were pushed to a certain level in AEW that Anna Jay, who's been here for 5 years, just has never been on.
The potential and gift for Anna Jay are right there, because if someone wants to sit here pretend that Anna Jay isn't good in the ring, okay, that's fine. Like, that can be absolutely your opinion, but like, I see she has flawless moments sometimes in the ring, which absolutely show you that she knows how to carry herself in the ring, knows how to tell the story. But like, the reps are the thing that are needed there. You guys are absolutely right. No NXT. No. Go to the indies. I don't follow the indies because, god damn it, when? Yeah. So, but I'm sure that she will absolutely love it there, and she will build a name for herself. And if she's absolutely unapologetically the Queen Slayer, because I kind of miss that. I kind of miss the Queen Slayer. Yeah. And her in the Dark Order was really touching. Dark Order as a whole was a really fun thing to have on television before and after the Hangman thing. And it's like, she also looks fantastic.
Yes.
And like
For all intents and purposes, yeah.
yes, for all intents and purposes, she looks absolutely gorgeous, and everything's there. She just needs that, those reps. You're absolutely right. I never even thought for a second that Ty were gonna win it. Not even for a second.
Like that's why I was so shocked, because like Jeremy told me about it on In the Weeds yesterday. I'm like, really? Why?
Serious? No. Like those sets of titles for me initially, when I thought about the championships themselves, every time a brand new set of titles or a title by itself are presented, all the time I want to see it won by a heel. So the story is there for the babyface to chase that title, and eventually, because we all saw how weird was the women's North American Championship when Kalani Jordan won it, and it was a really weird thing, for the women, for a women's belt. And NXT is the place where women thrive. If you like what they're doing or not, they get a lot of screen time. That's something that we can all agree on. If it's worth anything or not, that's a totally different conversation. But that's the thing for me. Always when a brand new title belt or belts is presented, every time I see a heel faction or a heel the champion as the inaugural champion. I don't know if that's the case here. I do think that Tony and Maria and Mina win the sets of titles, because they as a team win everything, because Tony Storm is the best thing ever on AEW, and everyone loves Mina. And now that she doesn't hold Ring of Honor Championship gold anymore, they need to, put.
Yeah. I think the right side of the bracket is definitely winning the tournament. It's either the Timeless Love Bombs or it's Marina and Megan. And I wouldn't mind if Megan and Marina were the ones to win. And I heard I saw somebody's video yesterday talking about the whole Ty J feedback or reaction from the fans. And someone said it best. I think it was Top 10 Wrestling. It was like, Ty J is the perfect second AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. And I told someone on social media the other day, I was like, the story is they're the veteran team. They're the longest experienced team, and they lost in the first round. They have a setback. Now it's about the journey for them to climb the ladder and eventually win the titles. This is literally some of the best storytelling that AEW does. Darby Allin losing 100 times to Jon Moxley before making him say, I quit. Hangman Adam Page losing in the first ever AEW World Championship matchup to win 2 years later. This is what AEW does. Bryan Danielson lost multiple world title matches before he won at Wembley Stadium.
Sweetie, they need to do it for the women. Everything that you just said are men.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. They have the opportunity now with Ty J.
They have the knowledge. They have the knowledge how to do it, because they've been doing it for 6 years now. I know. But the thing is, they need to give them a storyline. They need to give them proper matches, not 1 minute matches, not 2 minute matches. Tell the story of them, climbing up from this, well that they've put themselves into. They need to put in the work, which is so fucking hard, sweetie. It's so fucking hard.
It seems very difficult for Tony to do this. It seems very difficult. I feel like we're asking him for too much. I agree, Tony. I'm thinking about you right now. So as far as who I think is going to win, Marina and Megan, by the way.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I feel like even with the last minute change of Marina taking over for Penelope, it just seems like they're the ones with the momentum. They are the heel team, as Maggie pointed out. Even though the Sisters of Sin are technically a heel team, but they're not to the degree of built characters that Megan and Marina are. Right, they don't have that cachet. They don't have that. What's that damn term people have? Anyways, regardless of the fact, I think that Megan and Marina as the inaugural women's tag team champions works.
They're so
Those
good
two,
with one.
those two ladies also work crazy indie dates, and it would benefit AEW to have them
Have
both go to Japan, Defy, wherever you want to send them. You know they'll go at the end of the day, because all Marina wants to do is work, and Megan's working on. She's doing her thing on her own. In that regard, her schedule the last month has been crazy, and she's been able to keep it up at the end of the day. So I think it would be a fantastic thing for Marina and Megan to win those championships and be able to defend them internationally.
I don't think they're going to win the championships. I think I'm still going with Timeless Love Bond. I think they're going to win the match at Full Gear. Main reason I don't think Megan and Marina is going to win, because I think that Megan Bayne, they somehow, some way have gotten her as over as she was pre-Dynasty, pre that loss to Toni Storm. She should probably be the person that they consider with Willow Nightingale to be the person to dethrone Kris. That's
Kris.
what I.
Yeah, because Kris is. We'll talk about it when we get to the match, but Kris is going to need other heel, competitors to deal with going forward and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, I think I think we all agree that that this particular 4-way tag team match for the women's semifinal stipulation shit is unnecessary at the end of the day. And it's just there because you got to give the girls a chance on the pay-per-view outside of Mercedes and Kris.
They could have done the 2 semifinals matches and then build up the finals on the post show, because we never get that much hype for the post pay-per-view Dynamite. It would have been great. That 2 semifinal winners, the finals is going to be on Wednesday show, the Thanksgiving Eve show, one of our biggest Dynamites of the year. We're going to crown the first ever women's tag team champions in the main event. It the main event as well. Timing
has not been the booking team over at AEW's best friend. That's all I gotta say. That's all.
That is an understatement for sure. But not talking about titles anymore. We're talking about cold hard cash. $1 million trios matchup. Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express will face Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks at AEW Wrestle Dream. Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks stole the show in one of the best matches of the entire card, with Jurassic Express beating the Young Bucks in a $500,000 tag team matchup. Post-match, Jurassic Express actually showed respect to the Bucks, wanted to give them some money as well, until Josh Alexander and the Don Callis family attacked them from behind. The Bucks wanted nothing to do with the attack. They actually walked away, but they ran into Kenny Omega, who asked them, why aren't they not going to help the Jurassic Express? He came down and helped them out, made the save for Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. From there, Don Callis got a match made for Full Gear, trying to help the Young Bucks replenish all of their money after they won $500,000 and Nick Jackson spent it all on gambling. He wants to replenish their wealth, win the $1 million. So he set up the biggest money match yet, a $1 million trios matchup where they team with Josh Alexander versus Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. Don Callis has also been trying to recruit the Young Bucks to officially join the Don Callis family, getting their entrance back, doing a big grand entrance, saying they're from Rancho Cucamonga. We saw this week on Dynamite, they were in a trios matchup where they teamed with Josh Alexander to beat Skyflight. But during the matchup, Josh was trying to get more aggression out of the Bucks, did not seem on the same page as them. That led to the post-match where Don Callis wanted the Bucks to say they were a part of the family. That brought out Kenny Omega, who came out and basically wanted to go after Josh Alexander for injuring Kota Ibushi and Michael Nakazawa, his 2 best friends. But instead, the Bucks pulled Kenny Omega off of him. Pulled Kenny Omega off of Josh Alexander. Josh attacked. This led to Jurassic Express making the save. And that was our go-home angle before this matchup. And this is another one where, on paper, this really shouldn't be one of the better built matches, but in actuality, it actually is. I said on Wednesday, I said on the Dynamite post show on Fightful and on AE Ramble, I was like, that was probably the most effective go home angle of the whole entire night, because this was a go home show that seemed devoid of go home angles. So this was actually one of the more effective ones. What have you thought about the build to this matchup? Who do you think is going to win $1 million, J News? And are we getting an elite reunion?
Not here. I don't think we get the elite reunion here. I think we get it elsewhere. but it won't happen here necessarily. I wanted to give a shout out to Josh Alexander. I think that with what he's been given as of late, he's been doing real well with it. So because he's been lost in the sauce with this DCF shit. But anytime he's
lost in the sauce.
That's in this DCF shit. But I do want to say the TV time he's been given, I think that he's been able to capitalize with it, and he's been able to show better aspects of his personality, at least outside of his in-ring work and things of that nature. So I wanted to give a shout out to Josh Alexander there. The Bucks like to drag their storytelling at the end of the day. I don't think that the reunion for the Elite happens on this show. I think they'll take another beat, and it might happen at World's End or maybe even Revolution. Who knows at this point? Because the Bucks like to drag shit, and that's real at the end of the day. But it's going to be cool to see Kenny as a part of this match. We all know Kenny's health is always in question when it comes to matches. So him being in tag matches is probably best for him at the time being, and things of that nature. I already feel like the Jurassic Express is off their peak from their comeback at this point. So, you know, who wins here? Who benefits the most, really? Right? The Jurassic Express already won money from a previous match. So for them to win more money, it's like, well, what's going to be the point? What's going to be the story there necessarily, right? So, you know, if the Bucks and Josh Alexander win money, they got to split it 3 ways. And do they give a cut to Don? Do they give the money to themselves? Like they can, you know.
No, Don's already specified that they get all the money.
Oh, they get all the. Oh, there you go. Oh, my bad. So there's that part of it. But I feel like there's more. I don't know. There's more to it if the Bucks and Josh Alexander win this match than if Kenny and Jurassic Express wins the match at the end of the day. So I'm gonna go with the heel team here for the win. I'm probably gonna be wrong, but it is what it is.
Maggie, who you got?
So, guys, this is actually the match I'm mostly looking forward to on this card, because I'm a huge sucker for the Elite, and I will always have a soft spot for any Elite storyline that we have in whatever, you know, combination that we have it in. Yes, I would like to shout out Soupy for his incredible statistics before, because even before he put it in the live chat below, he put those statistics in on Twitter. You know, the moment this match was announced, I don't know if it was a week or 2 weeks ago. Those are some incredible statistics. I do feel like Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express are winning because Don Callis pushed Bucks to make a decision on this week's show. They didn't. They were torn because they had to give Kenny Omega the BTE trigger, or how Don Callis call it.
You got to make the face.
Yeah, they had to hit Kenny with the and he's so stupid, man. I just
best manager of the year.
Best manager of the year, but that is okay. I mean, he's doing his job correctly because everyone hates him. I mean, that's what he's supposed to be doing. And
you picking Don over Stoke? You picking Don over Stoke, son? I don't know about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do.
Stokely's number 2, of course, but like, Stokely is more gets credit for the collective of how the act works. Don Callis has fucking been a booking crunch for AEW the entire year. Like, you have to, like, there's levels to this. Like, Stokely has been great. He's been better than every other manager except for one, Don Callis.
Yeah, because like Don Callis has everyone. I mean, am I in the Don Callis family? I'm pretty sure I am. Because like my husband is a part of Don Callis family. He's a bit injured right now, but like he's still my war daddy. So Josh Alexander and and the Bucks having friction during the trios match this week. This wasn't done by accident, even in kayfabe. This was supposed to be a part of because Josh Alexander was a hothead, man, and I love Josh Alexander in Impact. He was the backbone of Impact. So at the end of his run, because like he was a heel, and then he came to AEW and he again turned heel because in his debut he was facing Hangman. I don't know what they were thinking, but like he was immediately a heel, and I'm like, this is weird, but it works because he's it. I didn't agree with it when he was a part of Impact / TNA because of everything he did for that company as a face. Yeah, it's on a different level now. And I do see Josh Alexander losing it when he loses the match. And again, because I've been so right when it comes to this, Matt Jackson is always the one getting pinned. He's always eating the pins. I don't know. Always. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but like he's always eating the pins. Nick Jackson's so good. He's just so. I mean,
he was great
goddamn
on Wednesday.
he was great. Like he had awesome moments in all three of the people from the other team. So good.
I saw a comment online that says Nicholas Jackson is the best singles wrestler that never was.
That never was. Absolutely.
might be true. It might be true.
Might be true. It might be true. I mean, his hot tags are a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Probably.
I made a mistake because me and Jimmy were talking about best tag team wrestlers, individual tag team wrestlers. I should have said Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson is up there.
Nick Jackson.
Nick Jackson's up there.
Because like he had a match against Ray Phoenix on the random episode of Dynamite, and Matt Jackson wasn't even there. He was back home. I mean, give me more. Just so shit will hit the fan after the match ends. And then I don't know if we get a reunion of the Elite, but I do see Kenny and Jurassic Express saving the Young Bucks from the Don Callis family. I don't know if they hug it out or whatever, but they like saving them and having the rest of the story being told on next week's Dynamite after the show, because like they need some storylines for the Dynamite after Full Gear. And this is a wonderful thing to have resolved after Full Gear. But it's an Elite story. And the Elite girlies, Auntie and Kylie.
I enjoy the Elite stuff, but I don't need it dragged out. So yes,
exactly.
Omega and Jurassic Express win the matchup. Post-match, Josh and the Don Callis family attack the Bucks. Kenny makes a save. We get the reunion at the end of all of this. And I think the added caveat, they will forgive the Bucks so much. Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega don't need the money, and they'll give it to the Bucks. So the Bucks will be both replenished and have their friends all at the same time. happy endings all around. Happy endings all around.
Okay, I'll say it on the show. If this happens and we do get the Elite reunion and everything and the happy ending, I will not buy more perfumes for the rest of the year.
There we go.
What kind of bet is that? There's 5 weeks up to the year, girl. What you talking
about? Sweetie, I bought a new perfume every week for the past month. I think I'm good.
Okay. I think you have a problem. I do
have a problem. I mentioned it at the beginning of the show.
Sophie says he thinks that the Bucks and Alexander are going to win, like Jay News said. But since the Bucks made their money, they stopped the Don Callis family from hurting their friends. I'm sorry, Sophie. That last part is when you lost me, because I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would the Bucks, because they have money, be like, "Oh, I'm gonna help my friends now." No, they're gonna go for every time we've seen the Bucks with money, they go further into the abyss of the dark side. That doesn't make any
EVPs
sense with
when
what
they
we've
were, yeah, when they were EVPs and they had all the money, they were jackasses. So
seen.
like,
Exactly.
why
They go
why would
further
$1 million?
into it.
Yeah,
They're not gonna be like, "Oh man, we have money now. We should be good friends." No, they're gonna go further into the abyss. We got in the chat a quick question. Mr. Town says, who do you think will be in the Continental Classic this Wednesday? I think Josh Alexander has a good chance to be in the Classic. He's a guy that I think would work in the Continental Classic.
I agree. I agree with Josh Alexander.
And since we haven't got a Kenny Omega singles match since like July, we haven't got a Kenny Omega singles match since Kazuchika Okada in Texas. Can we get Kenny having some singles matches?
Nah, man, that's
no,
not.
no, that's not.
That's not happening.
Like we mentioned, Ace Austin. Ace Austin should run the Continental Classic. He should kick everyone's ass.
Shelton Benjamin.
Yes,
he was one of the highlights for me last year.
Do you think it'll be both of them or just one member of the Hurt Syndicate?
If it's any member of the Hurt Syndicate,
it should be Shelton Benjamin.
Bobby Lashley's not doing the content.
No.
You don't know.
I just don't see it. I can see
give Shelton Benjamin shine. Speedball is a good shot. I would like to see Speedball in there. I can tell you who I do not want in the Continental Classic, and that's the TNT champion, because can we not?
Well, I have some bad news for you. You're probably going to get that, and let's talk about it. You got the TNT championship on the line in a no disqualification high stakes matchup, as it's going to be Kyle Fletcher defending against Mark Briscoe. With if Mark wins, he becomes the new TNT champion. But if Kyle Fletcher wins, Mark must join the Don Callis family. Back at Wrestle Dream in their fifth match, their tiebreaker, their rubber matchup, it was Kyle Fletcher with a low blow and the brainbuster off the top turnbuckle that beat Mark Briscoe at Wrestle Dream. But a week later, and on Dynamite, it was Briscoe who issued a rematch challenge to Fletcher, who wasn't really interested, and neither was Don Callis. A week later, Briscoe once again made the request, but said that he wanted a no disqualification match against Kyle. Kyle was interested, but Don had to make the final say, and Don says, let's make it a little bit more incentivized for myself. And he says, if Fletcher wins, Mark Briscoe must join the Don Callis family and leave those losers behind in the conglomeration. So Mark Briscoe, he's been busy all over the place dealing with conglomeration business with Blood and Guts. He was reportedly or suspectively attacked by the Don Callis family during the Blood and Guts, even though the Don Callis family have denied that. But this matchup is the sixth match in a series of matches that we've seen since last year. Every one of the matches have delivered. It's been absolute bangers. So I expect this one to do it as well. And I will put my prediction out there first. I think we get new TNT champion Mark Briscoe finally wins the big one. And unfortunately for Maggie, both of these individuals will probably be in the Continental Classic. Maggie, what did you think about the build to this matchup? Who do you think wins? I do want to say I do think the more interesting result is Fletcher winning, so we could see the Don Callis family at the chicken farm. I would love that. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're setting up a seventh matchup, so Briscoe has to win. Maggie?
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. So like I said previously, I do feel like MJF will be costing Mark Briscoe this match, because what he said before leaving, that he will get his revenge on Mark Briscoe. I do feel like MJF will be costing his this match, because Mark Briscoe being a part of the Don Callis family and unironically costing them matches, it's something so intriguing to me. And this will make it worth watching Don Callis family segments, first of all. And second of all, I'm drinking my pill, just so you know. It's been 2 hours. uh, so I also am so fucking in love with Kyle Fletcher and everything that he does in the ring. I don't want him losing that belt ever. And I don't know who eventually, in my mind, who he eventually loses this to, but I know damn well that I don't want this to be Mark Briscoe. At least not now. At least not now. Again, segments with Don Callis' family in the farm. That is gold. That is I feel like Alex mentioned this on the show. Lance Archer in that farm. I'll pay money to watch that. Okay. Gary, do you remember the scene from Terminator lifting the kid by his overalls? That's what I want to see Lance Archer doing with one of the kids. Give me that. Or chicken. I don't care.
Like I said, I wouldn't mind him losing, but I'm all for my boy finally getting the win. So who do you think's gonna get the win, J News?
It's interesting, right? Because it's the dynamics on either side work, right? If Kyle Fletcher gets the win, he gets to be the longest reigning, most best defending TNT champion of all time, and he continues that.
He's just setting the record for title defenses.
Yeah, so he can do that. If Chicken wins, it's the biggest win of Chicken's career at the end of the day in AEW, and it'll be a highlight. We'll get a big time celebration with the conglomeration and stuff like that, and that would be cool. I also do like what everybody's saying about the potential of Kyle Fletcher winning here, and as smart as Mark Briscoe is, because he is smart at the end of the day.
He is smart. Yes.
He will use the Don Callis family to his advantage. Meaning what? It is the Briscoe family farm at the end of the day. So family needs to come to the farm to help out, which makes all the sense in the world. Comedic genius as it is right there, for all it's worth. I don't think Lance Archer would have any problems working on a farm, but it would be funny to see the likes of Okada and Kyle.
I want to see Hechicero doing this to a chicken, like just this confusing. The chicken's like confused, like what are you doing? He's like luring them in. He's luring.
Come on, we're gonna see Okada call a chicken a bitch.
It's like, you chicken bitch.
Makes all the sense in the world. I think, because Goofy Wrestling lives on and AEW knows how to do it right at times. So, I would love.
Wrestling is stupid. We love wrestling.
Absolutely.
You should never take wrestling too seriously.
It's so serious.
That would be comedic gold. Serious. But to SP3's point, either or way, if Chicken or Fletcher wins, they're both going to be in the C2. I don't think there's any way around it. They're both going to be in the C2.
It's so stupid, man. If we all knew and remember what happened to Daniel Garcia last year.
I'm not gonna hold that too much against them, because it feels like that TNT title reign had no shot whatsoever, because Tony did not really care about it that much. I think there is a way to have a TNT champion in the tournament. I think that me and J News are more open to it, is because we see it every year in the G1. The G1 has all the champions from New Japan in it. It doesn't define it down. It actually sets up future matches. They did not do that in last year's C2. They just did the one loss to Briscoe, set up a title match, but he lost to Shelton Benjamin. He lost to Kyle Fletcher. He never faced any of them during the title reign. So it is the booking that is it's not just, Daniel Garcia's in the C2. They have no choice, but he's gonna lose so much, and it doesn't set up anything. It's just bad. No, you can have a TNT champion in the C2. Just ask for Tony Khan to book them better. That's all we need. We can't just say, "Oh no, it's impossible to have a well-booked TNT champion in the C2." I think that's a little bit too end of the world for me.
We'll see how it all boils down, though. I think that, yeah, like you said, we see it in the G1 every year. Whoever, if Kyle goes in as champion, or if Mark goes in as champion, whoever defeats them during the tournament gets future shots at the end of the day, right? It just makes for simple, non-complex storytelling in that regard. But yeah, that's an interesting comment to make, King of the North there. Kyle Fletcher's, it's true at the end of the day. But the reality of the differentiation there is that Kyle Fletcher has found it. Danny's still looking for it at the end of the day. And I'm just talking about character. I'm not talking about the in-ring stuff. So that's really what that is. There.
I thought you were talking about steroids.
Chill out, man. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
You said he found it.
Fuck?
I was like, yeah, Danny needs to find that. I agree. I totally agree. He needs to find that. That's the difference between Kyle Fletcher and Danny.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh man.
That good old kangaroo diet. I meant that. Yeah.
Jeez. Let's be realistic. I don't think Sky Blue wants anything to do with Kyle Fletcher taking steroids for all intents and purposes. If you understand,
no, he's on a good regimen. It doesn't do that if you're on a good regimen. He knows his scales and his weights. He knows how to do it properly. That's why he looks the way he looks. But no, I agree. I think that the fact that we talked about this match so much and the stakes and the fact that it is unpredictable who can win it, I think this has the potential to probably be the best match on the show, because this has something that the Wrestle Dream match didn't have. And I love the Wrestle Dream match. It was excellent, but the emotional connection and stakes, I think, adds a bunch to this matchup that has consistently been 4.5, 4 3/4. I think it has a potential to be a perfect matchup, to be the 5-star match that everybody has always wanted it to be, with these added stakes. But let's talk about.
I just don't need a 7th match afterwards. I just don't.
Well, you know, you're gonna have to live with it. Anyway, no holds barred matchup. It will be Jon Moxley going one-on-one with Kyle O'Reilly. These two men have faced each other a few times over the last couple of weeks. Following Wrestle Dream, it was Jon Moxley who went one-on-one with Kyle O'Reilly on Dynamite, with Kyle O'Reilly really dominating that matchup, getting Jon Moxley in a place where he had him in the ankle lock, and Moxley was so desperate not to say I quit, not to give up again like he did at Wrestle Dream against Darby Allin, that he punched out the referee to get disqualified. The following week, they had a rematch where once again, O'Reilly had him stuck in a submission and a guillotine choke. Moxley had no way to get back into the ring, so both men were double count outed in the matchup. And then in the blood and guts match, Moxley tried every way to make Kyle O'Reilly submit. He had him locked in the bulldog choke with a chain around his neck, but O'Reilly gave him the most polite Canadian middle finger you will ever see, before eventually locking him in the ankle lock after a tremendous submission exchange and making Jon Moxley tap out and surrender for the Death Riders to lose the men's blood and guts matchup as a conglomeration won. Following that, Jon Moxley issued a challenge to Kyle O'Reilly after hearing O'Reilly brag about his victory, saying that he will face him anytime, anywhere, anyway. And Kyle O'Reilly took that upon himself to attack Jon Moxley after his win with Claudio Castagnoli against Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong on Dynamite this week. He locked him in the ankle lock again, and Moxley was comically tapping out like he has the weakest ankles in the history of ankles. Then O'Reilly issued the challenge for a no-holds-barred matchup at Full Gear. I expected this match to be on Full Gear. I just would have set it up in a totally different way than what we got. We did not, once again, we did not need that tag team matchup. We just needed a promo from Jon Moxley. And I thought it was it ranged it on like a freaking cartoon, the way Jon Moxley was tapping out to the ankle lock in the post match. I was like, you just have the weakest ankles ever, apparently. Now you're just tapping out at anytime someone touches your ankle, you're going to tap out, apparently. And after all of that, I have one more nitpick because why is this a no holds barred matchup? I understand.
why?
John Moxley.
Why?
John Moxley is great at no DQ matches, great at hardcore match. We did not need another no DQ matchup on a show that already has a no DQ matchup. And after the amazing ending to the men's blood and guts, the simplest thing to do was make it a submission match. Why is this not a submission match? So letting that all aside, the right thing to do, Kyle O'Reilly wins, and this would be the new biggest win of his career after Blood and Guts. Maggie, what do you think?
So listen, I'm a huge Kyle O'Reilly fan. Everything that happened for the past few weeks, I mean, his match against Moxley, him almost tapping him out, and him actually being the one to tap out Moxley in Blood and Guts. Man, because that episode of Dynamite was so good, the Blood and Guts one. Initially, I thought that the women's Blood and Guts match should have main evented the show because it was such a good match. Sky Blue was fantastic. She stole the show for me in that match. But the way the things ended in the men's Blood and Guts, it had, this closure and everything. And, it was a happy ending and the crowd went home happy and everything. And I feel like that Tony Khan has been adamant in saying that he is a fan of sending everyone happy. A part of that that time when Bryan Danielson almost got murdered, but that's a totally different conversation. That was so good, man. But I felt so fucking happy for Kyle O'Reilly at the end of this Blood and Guts match, and I'm like, finally. They're giving Kyle O'Reilly his flowers, and I've been so waiting for that. So waiting for that, because I know they've done things with the Kyle versus Kyle matches, and he won 0 of them, and but he always shined, always the bridesmaids, never the bride and everything. So I was really pumped to see this happening, and when they announced this match, and I'm like, I have such a bad feeling about this. I feel like that they're about to ruin fucking everything that I was so happy about. And this is hanging in the prefrontal cortex of my brain. And I'm like, because it makes sense for Jon Moxley to lose this, because it goes hand in hand with Pac winning his match, right? And I'm like, okay, so which do I want? For, Kyle O'Reilly to win or Darby to win? And that is, I don't know what the lesser of two evils is. And I don't know if we get our cake and get to eat it too, that being Pac winning and Kyle O'Reilly winning, which would be, the best thing ever. I'm going to go with my heart here. I'm going to put my money on Kyle O'Reilly. But I have such a bad feeling, man, because this is where the storyline is heading. This is the only logical thing. If they stretch this the fuck out, I'm going to fucking lose it, because this makes no sense. Story-wise, no sense whatsoever if Moxley wins. By the way, Moxley has been having the run of his life ever since losing the championship. I've been enjoying this so much. His character build, his downfall, this is everything. So he absolutely needs to lose this match. And I'm going to be so fucking happy for Kyle O'Reilly. Dude deserves the world. So, again, I'm so worried. But yeah. What do you guys think?
This is the result that I have the most trepidation going into Saturday, and I am the most nervous about. So, J News, who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kyle on this one because of the way they've been building it on TV. And also for folks who haven't noticed the nuance and everything, even though, you know, we're eventually leading towards a Moxley getting out or being, you know, jumped out of the Death Riders thing. Jon Moxley has, to a certain degree, accomplished his goal. He has gotten other AEW wrestlers to step up and get more aggressive and be more violent, and that's what he's wanted the entire time. And he's accomplishing his goal, even though he's losing matches at the end of the day. He's wanted all these guys to step up and do what they're doing now. And we've gotten to a point where, you know, the good guys are finally not just, you know, taking pins at the end of the day and not mattering, right? I said this the other day. I feel like this is the Kyle O'Reilly renaissance, and it seems that he's on a path that feels a lot like when he eventually won his ROH title back in 2015, I want to say. He was riding that high in ROH at that time. And if they can peak him on AEW TV like they have been the last couple of weeks, not to say that he's going to win a championship, I'm not saying that, but like from spotlighting him in a way, especially with what's been going on with Mox, especially with Mox, I think, yeah, him winning here means a lot more than Moxley winning a match or whatever the case is, because the storyline is evident right now as to where we're leading with Moxley and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, from a segment point of view, or where this match is going to be placed in the show, I think this should be the last Death Riders match on the show. So there could be a hint or an inkling as to what might be happening with Jon Moxley going forward with the Death Riders post this match. So that's where
I need some type of development. I don't need I don't 100% need the Death Riders to plastic bag him. I would love for that to happen, because I would love to be there live to see a murder. That would be great. That would be awesome. I could see that murder of Moxley in Newark. That would be awesome. But I don't expect it there, but at least give me some type of hit. Like all the Death Riders come out and they all turn around and leave Moxley. I'll take even that type of inkling. That will at least be some type of progression towards a new chapter, because to follow up Blood and Guts with the same people in a tag team matchup on this Wednesday has really turned down I was saying after Blood and Guts, I was like, the Moxley character is the best character in AEW. And then we just took a step back on Wednesday's show. So I'm hoping he could get me back to be feeling like that again, because I do agree with y'all. The storytelling, the character work that Moxley has done, especially since saying I quit to Darby Allin at Wrestle Dream, I think that's when it's taken to a new level, because AEW commentary can tell me all they want. They said on Wednesday, it was like, oh, Jon Moxley's been on this losing streak since losing the world title at All In. I was like, no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No. I saw him beat Roderick Strong on September to Remember. I saw him beat Darby Allin at All Out. So no, he's not on this long losing streak. Sorry. No, he's not. But let's talk about the final 3 big title matches on the show for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It is Brodido defending the gold against FTR. These two teams went against each other in Cardiff earlier this year. That match went to a 30-minute time limit draw. They were then in a 3-way matchup with the Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door, where Brodido won the AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR became the number 1 contenders for the gold in a 4-way matchup at Fright Night Dynamite, beating the Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, and Jet Speed to become the number 1 contenders. And since then, FTR has tried everything to make this matchup as personal as possible, whether it be insulting and attacking Bandito's family, insulting his grandmother and attacking his brother, and locking Brodido inside their locker room, where Brody King had to punch a hole through the wall and grab up Stokely, whether it be there insulting and disrespecting Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and jumping the legend, which caused Brodido to make the save. This one feels a lot more personal than their last meeting. Who's going to walk out World Tag Team Champions? Maggie.
Okay, so no, bring back that graphic. Bring back the graphic. put it back on. Look at Stokely. Look at that face. Look at, look at his face.
He's the best.
He's so cool, man. That is the most sour face ever. Okay. We all know FTR is the best tag team in the world, right? I mean, I don't. Yeah. Do they need those championships? Do they need them?
Who?
FTR.
Yes.
Yes. I wanted them to win those titles fucking 3 eons ago. So how about
they were just champions 2 years ago.
I don't care. Like, put the championships back on FTR. I know everyone has the biggest boner for Brodido. They're an awesome tag team. Yes. Because everyone loved all the matches that Brody has been a part of, but he lost all of them. I say give him a wonderful run in the Continental Classic, the same wonderful run that he had last time, but he lost all the time. So we can do that and give him a bunch of wins. What this tag team has provided us is seeing Brody win a bunch of matches and be actual champion, which is awesome because, like, we didn't get a lot of that during the time that he was a part of the Trios champions. And I hate that because I loved House of Black. I was a part of the few that loved House of Black. But I'm going to go with FTR here. When I think about it, every time that we talk about a tag team match when it comes to the championships in AEW, every time I say that Brodido will lose the championships, every time I say that, and then they never do. I don't know if this is, finally, the last match, but I'm going with FTR.
J News.
Yeah, I don't really have a long-winded explanation for this one. I think FTR wins. It makes the most logical sense because once they win, not that Brodido splits up in a bad way where they're tearing each other apart, but it does lead FTR, once they win the championships, it'll lead Brodido, Bandito, and Brody King to get back to their singles ways. The C2 is happening. Bandito's still the ROH champion at the end of the day, so he's got stuff to do. Shouts to Soberano Jr. for coming back to CMLL. We might be seeing him on AEW soon. So keep that at the front of your minds as well, for a future opponent for Bandito and things of that nature. So yeah, I feel like FTR wins this match.
Yeah, it's unanimous. I got FTR winning this one. Main reason is what Maggie and J News said. Brodido, both members of Brodido are probably going to be in the C2. It would make no sense whatsoever to not put Bandito in the C2 after the year he had. He's the person that I probably more than anyone want to see in the C2, just having bangers every week. So yeah, they got to lose here. And do we get Copeland and Christian returning on this show? Yes or no?
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, that's where we're leading. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if it happens here or not. Yeah.
We'll see. All right. And if I didn't already make it clear about the other matchup, Kyle O'Reilly, I want to win. Please, Kyle O'Reilly win. Kyle O'Reilly winning is what's going to dictate my feelings on the show on Sunday when I review it.
Exactly. I will feel so bad for you if Moxley wins. I mean, I'm gonna hate it, and then I'm gonna remember that we're actually on the show live, and I'm gonna text you, okay? I'm gonna check up on.
Why? There's just gonna be a viral video of me being like, why? Why?
You know this gif. You know this gif of the guy who's in the crowd. I don't know. It's probably a football game, and he goes like, "This my dream." Yeah, my dream is to get caught on camera doing a wrestling show doing this. And probably during a win by Darby Allin or some probably shit like that. And I'm like,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
that's my dream.
But
So I hope you get to live it.
I hope not. For the AEW Women's World Championship, TBS champion Mercedes Moné challenges the champion Kris Statlander. At AEW Wrestle Dream, Statlander affirmed her title reign by defeating former champion Timeless Toni Storm. Before she could celebrate that win, Mercedes Moné came out to interrupt it, basically stealing the spotlight ahead of her matchup against Mina Shirakawa for the interim Ring of Honor TV Championship, where she beat her for the Women's TV title, adding it to her collection. Kris Statlander came out and basically made Mercedes bail from the ring, which led to Mercedes challenging Kris Statlander to a title matchup at Full Gear. These two women have plenty of history with one another from last year. 1 year ago at Full Gear, right back in Newark, it was Kris Statlander and Mercedes Moné who put on one of the best women's matches in AEW history, where Mercedes defeating Kris Statlander. They repeated the feat yet again at AEW World's End, with Mercedes going 2-0 against Statlander. But Statlander is the one who was able to dethrone Timeless Toni Storm for the championship, something that Mercedes was unable to do at all in Texas. Now, can Kris Statlander finally get the win over Mercedes, or will Mercedes get a dominant 3-0 record against Kris Statlander and add belt number 15 to her collection after she collected belt number 14 by becoming the undisputed Ring of Honor Women's TV champion on Dynamite and Collision this past Wednesday? We've seen these two women go at it. We saw Kris Statlander kind of cost Mercedes in the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. We saw them do battle in Blood and Guts. Now it comes down to this for the title. Maggie, who walks out the champion tomorrow?
Okay, so don't the two Ring of Honor championships morph into one? Because
Nope. When it's Mercedes Moné, she just walks around with both titles.
Oh, come on.
That's not how unifications work. This is not Okada.
No.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
No.
Chris Jericho walked around with the WWF Championship and the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and they just called him an undisputed champion. It wasn't a unification match. It was an undisputed Ring of Honor Women's TV Championship matchup. She's the undisputed champion. She can walk around with both titles, just like she walked around with both the Rev Pro and Southside titles that are just the undisputed Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. That is what she's going to do, and it makes sense because she set the precedent that that's what she does.
But Southside Wrestling is a different company altogether. It's the same belt. It's not belt for one championship.
It's literally been unified for 6 years. You could just walk around with one title by now.
It doesn't count, man. It's still 13. It's not 4.
After like 6 months, they created the Undisputed Championship.
I understand where you're coming from, but even Mercedes says that she's coming for title number 14. So she's still 13 belts Moné.
Yeah, because one is an interim belt. Right, it's an interim belt, so like they're the same fucking belt.
It's the same belt, man. Kris Statlander wins. I'm tired of this shit. Let's get on with it. All right? Kris Statlander wins.
Okay, listen. For me, hear me out. I desperately need Kris Statlander to win this match. I desperately want it. You know why? Because I fucking want to see Kris Statlander have a proper feud with Deonna Purrazzo for that champion. I need that. I'm not gonna get it. I'm fucking not getting it. But I really, really wish that I would, because I just want Deonna Purrazzo versus Kris Statlander. Am I the only one? Just those two women will create so much chemistry with one another. I nearly said something completely different. I'm not going to say that. But like because this hopefully leads to the story where Mercedes Moné loses her fucking mind because she cannot possibly get her hands on the AEW Women's Championship belt. And she slowly loses her mind, and with that, slowly loses the belt, all of her belts one by one, even the two Ring of Honor belts, which are basically one. but this, I don't know. And this is me because I'm a huge Mercedes Moné fan. Don't get me wrong. This is not why I want her to lose, because I don't hate the gimmick sucks and everything. No, she's basically living her dream right now, and you go, girl. You do that. She absolutely deserves it because she's absolutely one of the best women's wrestlers in the entire world. I I'm really scared for her neck because she insists on selling her neck as if she's dying. And I know that Kris Statlander she's able to snap that neck in half, man. And every time where there's an important match for Mercedes Moné, I'm just, protect your neck, girl. Just protect your neck. I'm picking Kris Statlander here.
All right, Wu-Tang. All right, J News, who you got?
Like I said, I got Kris Statlander for the win here. She retains. She's able to defeat Mercedes Moné, and it's been said in the chat, but I even said this on the other podcast that I do, Hit the Roast podcast, every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Dolores. She was in the chat earlier. So there's that. That I feel, just like other people in the chat feel, like the belt collector thing has run its course. I feel like they've done it for too long. I don't have issue with Mercedes being a champion. Like Maggie says, she's one of the best. She deserves to be a champion. I feel like the storyline it's gone on for too long at this point. They need to start to pivot here. And I think, and I believe that this is where they start to pivot and whatnot. So Kris Stat for the win. But my only wonder is, like I say in most shows, is what happens next. Who's gonna be Kris Statlander's next opponent and things of that nature. I am gonna side with Maggie here on the fact that I would like to see a match between Kris Statlander and Deonna Purrazzo.
No, a feud, not a match, a feud, a proper feud. Deonna Purrazzo.
Okay, a proper feud. Okay, fair enough. But I don't think it'll happen. It would be nice, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I understand. By the way, have they said which match main events the show? Is it the Hangman and Mojo?
They have not specified that.
This should be the one that main events the show.
I mean, this is the match that I think that everybody's looking forward to the most. I think that this.
I mean,
I wouldn't say that this was the one that had like the best build, but this is the match that I think is going to be the best in-ring matchup on the night.
I mean, it has a better build.
The $1 million match.
It has a better build than Samoa Joe and Hangman.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So this, if like they have every one of us said that Mariah May and Toni Storm should have main evented that show. It was a so missed opportunity, man, for that. If not that was a huge bummer for that. But
you know what's the caveat though to that, Maggie, right?
What?
If the main event's Mercedes winning, there's no shot. There's no shot in hell that Statlander wins. If it's the main event, it's no way.
You can't just put Kris Statlander over big during the whole media week. What are you talking about? Okay. That would make no sense.
I don't
They're
think
not in Boston.
if it headlines the show, he's crowning a new champion. That's what I.
No.
If this closes out the show, it's headlining and Mercedes is winning.
No. Send the people home happy. Crown Kris Statlander as the woman in AEW. No.
I would love that. I don't see it. But
okay, so let's not make it main event the show then, honey.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I'm fine either way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm merely the devil's advocate on this channel. And I just let y'all know the truth about some things.
All the time.
Fellow, thank you so much for the super chat donation. We appreciate all the love, and you did give us a comment as well. He says, I hate the big one storyline because while it does prop up the world title, it buries every other title she has, contradicts the global revolution idea. And he says that Mercedes should lose, though. Stat can't lose 3 in a row. Yeah, I think we're all going for Statlander in this matchup, and I don't know if I don't think I hate it, or I don't think it buries any of the other titles. The fact that Mercedes can't win this one, I think that it's actually interesting story to tell that she can win every other title except for one, and that she will be like 40-0 in non-AEW women's world title matches and then be 0-2 in world title matches.
Yeah.
That's funny. We also got another super chat donation here from LaRon Ford. Thank you so much, LaRon, for the support. He says Statlander Mercedes should be the main event of Full Gear. Tony Khan is a fucking coward for not having it main event. God damn.
Okay, calm down. It's not set in stone.
Look,
Calm down. We don't know what the main event
You don't know.
for all intents and purposes, I feel like the gimme here was that they did end up making Joe versus Hangman a cage match. So I think because they did that, that will be the main event of the show. I'm not saying that Mercedes and Stat don't deserve to be the main event. They do, because their story was more fluid. It was more engaging for all intents and purposes. But because they did add the cage match stip to the title match, I feel like that will be the main event. And this should be the semi-main at the end of the day. This should be right before that match. And they will have the opportunity to tell the boys with their match and everything else in between, follow that. So
I forgot to give this earlier because you guys were so eloquently talking about all the contributions that Anna Jay has given us to professional wrestling, and she has gotten so much better. Ty J is the most experienced tag team in AEW, and if she decides to stay, she'll one day win the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships. But we also should thank Anna Jay for this as well.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Right. I'm just saying. Seems to be a very popular picture. I've been seeing it a lot on my social media this week. Seems.
Yeah, sometimes the AEW photo team has leeway of the angles in which they shoot from, and that has been you're absolutely right, SP3. That has been a very popular photo floating around the internet over the last week or so. Yeah.
All fine and dandy. LeBron says they announced Hangman Joe as the main event on Collision last week, but when Tony Khan was asked during the Ariel Helwani interview, he literally would not answer. He literally would not answer.
He did not answer.
All right, let's talk about what presumably might be the main event of tomorrow night's show. Hangman Adam Page defending the AEW World Championship against Samoa Joe inside of a 15-foot high steel cage. This matchup, this feud really started because Samoa Joe felt disrespected by Hangman Adam Page and always feels disrespected if someone else is holding the world title in this company. So he decided to issue the challenge to Hangman. Hangman is saying that Joe was part of the people that helped him win the world title, decided to just grant him the title match without Joe really earning it. They had their match, an excellent match at Wrestle Dream, with Hangman beating Joe with 3 consecutive buckshot lariats. But then post-match, it looked like Joe was going to show respect to Hangman, like Hangman said he would. He would get up, shake his hand, show respect to the better man on that night. But Joe chose to do otherwise. He instead attacked Hangman Adam Page along with the rest of the ops, laying out Hangman, making it clear that he is still coming after the AEW World Championship. That led to Joe winning a 4-way to become the number 1 contender for the title at Full Gear at Fright Night Dynamite. But it also led to Hangman getting a measure of revenge by basically cosplaying as Tony Schiavone and attacking the ops with beer bottles, cracking a beer bottle over Joe's head and attacking him. This led to Joe and the ops going after Tony Schiavone with Hangman, Eddie Kingston, and Hook making the save. Hook, Eddie Kingston, and Hangman lost to the ops in an AEW World Trios matchup, a Trios Championship matchup after Powerhouse Hobbs delivered a World's Most Dangerous Slam off the ramp through a table. This led to Hangman and Powerhouse Hobbs having a tremendous matchup. Falls count anywhere at Blood and Guts with Hangman winning. Post-match, Joe wanted the cage to be sent down as he was attacking Hangman, and Hangman saw that after making the save, getting the save from Hook and Kingston. He was like, he saw that if you want a cage match, all you had to do was ask, you dumbass. So it will be Hangman and Joe inside of a 15-foot high steel cage with Samoa Joe seemingly by himself after Hangman has beaten Powerhouse Hobbs and Katsuyori Shibata on consecutive weeks of Dynamite. This matchup, this feud, it just feels like a missed opportunity. Like, we could have got so many great promos from Joe. Joe is always at his best as this very justified, very angry heel. And I think that would have been great going against a very justified, angry, badass cowboy in Hangman Adam Page after being turned on by Joe. There was so much missed opportunity in the last couple of weeks. I just can't get over it. But Maggie, what do you think about the build? Who do you think wins tomorrow night?
Like I mentioned previously, I feel like this is a filler feud for Hangman. It has felt so even from the first match because it sort of started from nowhere, man. Hangman dropped his title belt and all of a sudden Samoa Joe had a cow. I mean, it's like there's probably something else there, sweetie. You're not pissed off because I dropped your belt and everything. So the match is going to be awesome. I mean, Hangman said it himself. You remember the last thing I did when I was locked inside of a steel cage. I eventually do feel like Swerve would be the person to dethrone Hangman. It's because I'm never gonna get tired of these two just murdering each other. I don't know, like they kind of buried the hatchet when Swerve kind of handed him, the chain at Allin, but just kind of like he didn't help or anything. Like he just was there. So but that is so in the future. I feel like there's no way Hangman loses his championship here. But I will be enjoying the crap out of this match. I just feel like it should main event, the show. If we don't get something after the match, a post-match angle, if we don't get that, I don't see why Kris and Mercedes aren't main eventing this match, this pay-per-view. I am picking Hangman. I don't know. Fingers crossed something happens after. But, I also just realized that we don't have any panty matches on this on this pay-per-view card, and I'm really bummed out about it because what the hell, Tony? What are we doing here?
I mean, I guess the $1 million title match would have been that, but I mean, $1 million match.
No.
J News, who you got?
So, to use something that Maggie talked about earlier, Maggie, I want to disagree with where MJF gets used on this show. This is where he gets used on the show, post-match, at the end of the day. Because that's the only other way you can go with Hangman Page right now. Because they booked themselves into a corner with this. They really, really did. And at the end of the day, like you said, Maggie, I don't see Hanger losing his belt here. It'll be a terrific match because these guys are pros. They know what to do at the end of it all. Joe being on his high horse and being highly disrespected and being that how dare you guy nowadays as my buddy.
Him being disrespected in his head while literally no one disrespected him.
So, he's that guy right now, and I've been having a lot of fun with this version of Joe on commentary and on promos and wherever else. So, and Hanger's Hanger at the end of the day. I feel like, they just need to solidify this particular run for him. And once this match in the cage is over, I feel like Maxwell will step in and give him the proper feud necessary to continue to build on this. And yeah, that's where I'm landing. Hanger for the retention of the belt. It should be a great match in the cage, though.
Yeah, I love their match at Wrestle Dream. Samoa Joe has always excelled at cage matches. I always go back to 2004, his bloody war with Jay Briscoe in Ring of Honor. You go back to 2008 with him and Kurt Angle with the highest drawing pay-per-view in TNA history at Lockdown when he won the TNA World Championship. He's had a great cage match with Jon Moxley earlier this year. So he is someone that I trust in a steel cage matchup. But Hangman is a different type of beast in the steel cage from the last time we saw him. So I think he is going to get the victory. And I do agree with Jay News. I think that it's one of two people is coming out after this. And that is the right thing to do if you're AEW. You got to set the course for a hot world title program to come out of this one that kind of fell short of expectations because you didn't give them enough promo time to really get people invested. And I think it's either MJF or it's Jay White. Jay White coming out, I would be very happy. I would be very surprised if that. Hey, MJF makes a lot of sense. I think I'm going to go out and I'm going to give my wildest prediction of the show. I think MJF is walking out of Newark AEW World Champion. I think Hangman wins, and then we see a 1 week ago video that shows MJF signing the contract with Tony Khan, and he comes out and he wins the title. He signed the contract a week ago.
No, that's not how this works. I feel you, but that's not how this works at the end of the day.
It does work like that. It can't work like that. No, it can't work like that.
At the end of the day, MJF needed to give Tony Khan 1 week to promote the match.
No. He gave him 1 week notice. He said to promote the match, but then he gave him a little bit of money to not promote it.
Tony Khan don't need no money.
No. This is a serious question. Did he really say 1 week to promote the match? Did he say that?
I believe so.
I believe that is what he said. Yeah. Well, no. That was the reasoning. That was the reasoning that he said. Okay. But originally it was you need 1 week notice. So that's why I think my booking actually works.
So this is so he was just on Ariel Helwani's show.
Yes.
He should turn heel now as a booker.
TK?
Yeah. And
he doesn't want to be a character on the show.
And then they can show a video of MJF. Hi, I just actually signed the contract. And he's with TK and hands TK a buttload of money in a fancy suitcase. And then TK was like,
yeah, the billionaire taking money from a millionaire makes no sense, but I hear you.
Sure, with a poster of Ariel Helwani in the back of the
Absolutely. This is what I'm talking about. I like it all. But Chuck Berry says, no, why not wait until World's End to do MJF cashing in? You still have to do it the way I'm saying it, where you show the video from 1 week ago, because that was what he said. He said he needed 1 week notice before he could cash in. So that it is what it is. You can do it at World's End, but I think it's better. It's more of a shock if you do it tomorrow night.
I mean, you can do an angle about, Tony Khan refusing to get help for booking matches and booking Dynamite and AEW as a whole. And you can make an angle out of that by saying, oh, did I forget to tell you? He signed the contract last week. I've been so swamped.
I've had so much going on. The Jacksonville Jaguars, we're having such a tremendous year. We're on HBO Max. It's been a tremendous year over there.
And Fulham have sucked for the past 10 years anyway. And just...
Look, for all intents and purposes, that is creative as hell. That would be creative as hell and meta as hell.
Yeah,
absolutely. I would love it.
I would love that to be the case. I just don't know if Tony would do it. To be honest.
Oh no,
I don't know if Tony would do it either. But it's a wild prediction. We've made it to the end of another PLE pay-per-view preview.
Almost 3 hours.
Yes, I want to thank Maggie and J News for joining me today. And of course, thank you always, Maggie, for joining us for the pay-per-view previews. Here's the floor to you. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
Guys, you can follow me on Twix or Twitter or X, whatever, at Maggie_IK, and on Instagram at Maggie.IK. Usually usually every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fightful Overbook for Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. Again, Rob and I are taking a minor mental health break from the show. I don't know if we're gonna start the show next week or the week after that. Stay tuned for Rob and I on social media at Rob Wilkins. You can follow Rob on X or Twitter for our announcement about when we will be back on the air. We're so goofy. Just please give us a chance. I promise you're gonna love us. But I'll be damned if I don't put over Fightful Select, because before each and every pay-per-view or premium live event, you're gonna see Sean make a lot of scoops, a lot of rumor killers, his Q&As, and the Discord that you get on Fightful Select are your best bets. Also, my favorite time of the year is coming, and I'm not talking about fucking Christmas, because Christmas sucks. I'm talking about the Fightful Awards, in which you can be a part of by, becoming becoming a sponsor for a certain category that is remaining, as vacant, or a certain category if you would like to pick one. Entries are $100. Please reach out to Sean, the Fightful account on Twitter, or Kate, if you would like to sponsor the Fightful Awards. Again, my favorite time of the year. Please subscribe to Fightful Select, the best $5.99 that you're ever gonna spend on wrestling. Thank you so much for having me on this 3-hour long show. I took my pill, I promise.
J News, let's hear from you. Let the people know.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone in the chat for their participation, their comments, and their thoughts on what is going to go down this weekend at AEW Full Gear. You can all catch me on the Twitter machine at JohnLYFNMG. Catch me on Instagram _JONJY. Catch me every Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Hit the Ropes podcast with the lovely Dolores. I shall be back on True Heel Heat sometime during the month of November, I think, or maybe early December, to review what was New Japan's World Tag League. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So appreciate y'all.
Indeed. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat, patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. Check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our new show, THH Hot Takes, talking about some missed opportunities with Kenny Omega in 2025.
He's so hot.
Check out our THH cuts, clips, talking about AEW Blood and Guts from last week. Check out our NJPW World Tag League 2025 preview with myself, J News, and Sadal breaking down this year's tournament. And check out AE Ramble with myself and Jimmy Macaram reviewing the Go Home show ahead of Full Gear. I will be here tomorrow, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Heel Heat flagship podcast, talking all about the week in wrestling with Miss Chrissy Love and True Draw Josh, as well as we'll have I believe we'll have a special guest tomorrow. I'll double check on that. And then on Sunday, our AEW Full Gear review. I'll be live here. Josh will be here. Professor Kris to break down all the action. But for Maggie, thank you so much. For J News, thank you as well. This has been our AEW Full Gear 2025 preview. We hope you all enjoyed the show, and we are signing off until next time.